Sports. Sports betting the way it should be on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Former Miami Marlin, Atlanta Brave, the pitch. A swing and a miss, and that's a Redbird winner. Gastelum strikes out two. He walked one, leaving Harper on, and the Cardinals, they get to enjoy the fireworks going off above the scoreboard in right center field, and a win over the Phillies 7-1.
Won't you fly?
That's a good day for the Cardinals. They beat the Phillies by a 7-1 score. With it, they take 2 out of 3. Welcome into the Circus Sports Extra Innings Show here on KMOX. My name's Matt Pauley. Before we get into anything, let's just go ahead and give you kind of a rundown of what we've got going on here at KMOX over the next 3+ hours. We're going to do the Extra Innings Show for about the next 15 minutes. I'll take you till 5 o'clock. And then after the 5 o'clock news with Maria, we are going to have Redbird Rush Hour. I'll be joined by Kevin Wheeler. I'll be joining Kevin Wheeler for that during the 5 o'clock hour. And then Sports Open Line tonight from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. It's going to be a fun show. I would encourage you to be tuned in. Bertie Miklasz is going to be with us at 6:20 tonight. And then something that we do every year, we started doing it last year, we're doing it again this year and hope to do it every year moving forward. Around this time of the year, we check in with Cardinals President of Business Operations, Anouk Karuntarante, as we just kind of get a state of the organization from him from a business side and really dive in on a lot of stuff going on from a business perspective and organizationally. That's going to be in the 7 o'clock hour today, so would encourage everybody to be tuned in for that, especially if you kind of want to get an idea of what's going on with the Cardinals off the field, and we always enjoy being able to do that. So that's the plan. That is the plan from now until 8 o'clock. Hopefully you stick with us here on KMOX. For those of you who are watching on the stream, you don't have to go anywhere. We are going to have all of these shows, Redbird Rush Hour, Extra Innings Show right now, Sports Open Line. They are all going to stay on this one stream, so you'll be able to stay locked in for this entire period. And hopefully you do. Hopefully we're going to spend the next 3 hours and 12 minutes together, mostly talking about Cardinals baseball as they get a really good win today. They're able to knock off the Philadelphia Phillies, doing it by a 7-1 score. And I said this during the network post-game show, and a lot of people have said this as well. Not that the Cardinals won this series is a surprise. The fact that they won it by winning the final 2 games of the series, that's the surprise. When the Cardinals lost the first game against a pitcher that you felt like they could have success against, you really started to feel like, okay, well, maybe best case scenario is they lose 2 out of 3. And then they win yesterday. They're able to they had really good pitching, and they were able to push across a couple runs late against the Phillies bullpen. And then today they had a fair amount of success against Wheeler and were able to win by a 7-1 score. So this was a good win. This was a good win. And the Cardinals just continue to stick around. And this is kind of what I expected. This is what I've said this over and over and over again. My expectation is that the Cardinals will continue to at least stick around in wild card contention. Now, I don't know if I would have told you that I thought that they were going to come out after the deadline, take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees, take 2 out of 3 from the Rockies, and take 2 out of 3 from the Phillies. That probably wasn't my expectation, but my expectation is that they are going to continue to play good competitive baseball, and they are doing that right now, and that for sure is a very, very, very good thing to see. Let's get to our cut of the game. Our cut of the game, it is being brought to you by The Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. Had a few different choices when it came to this one, but we are going to go to the Cardinals' big inning today, and we are going to, you know what? I'm going to cheat. We're going cuts of the game because you got 2 2-out doubles in the 5th inning, which were really big. Everything that happened for the most part, outside of a leadoff single. You got a leadoff single from Cesar Prieto. That should be our cut of the game, right? He finally gets off the schneid and gets a base hit. But then after that, everything happens with 2 outs. They were able to string hits together, and the first double came off the bat of Alec Burleson.
The pitch to Burleson. He swings, and he hits it toward the gap. Center field, that's not going to be caught. The ball gets down, goes to the wall. Here comes a second run on the double by Burleson, with Weatherholt and Herrera scoring, as the Cardinals have built a 4-1 lead with 2 outs in the 5th inning.
And then that brings up Jordan Walker.
83 RBIs, and there's a line drive hit. That goes down the left field line to the wall, and it's a double for Jordan Walker scoring Burleson, and the Cardinals have a 5-1 lead.
We'll call those our cuts. Our cuts, we're going plural today. Our cuts of the game, sponsored by The Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. Who's on a roll? It is sponsored by Circus Sports, sports betting the way it should be. Alec Burleson, he extends his on-base streak to 14 games with a hit by pitch in the fourth inning, hits his major league leading 30th double in the fifth inning. He collects his 10th game with 3 or more RBIs this season. His 84 RBIs is now tied with Jordan Walker for most on the team, and it's tied for 4th most in Major League Baseball. He is 4 for his last 5 with runners in scoring position, doing a really, really good job. And that segues right into our insurance run of the game, which is sponsored by Ramsey Insurance in Bowen, Illinois, proudly representing auto owners insurance. We are going to go back to Alec Burleson as he helps the Cardinals add on in the 7th inning.
Burley with that big double a couple innings ago, and he grounds that one right side, base hit. And rounding third, trying to score is Weatherholt. The throw comes into third. Everybody's safe, and Burley picks up yet another RBI, his 3rd RBI of the game, and I believe that's 6 runs.
It is our insurance run of the game, sponsored by Ramsey Insurance in Bowen, Illinois, proudly representing auto owners insurance. And finally, we got to do our By the Numbers. We love By the Numbers. This is one of our favorite things we do. It's sponsored by Bank of Springfield, Bank Boldly, Bank with BOS, member FDIC. Some of the other numbers that are coming out of this game. Ivan Herrera, he records his first career RBI against the Phillies that does not come via a home run. All of his previous RBIs, the previous 3, had all come on solo home runs. He has scored 8 runs during this 6-game homestand after scoring 7 total runs in the first 18 games out of the All-Star break, has recorded 5 doubles in his last 6 games, and 12 of his last 23 hits have gone for extra bases. Jordan Walker has stolen bases in consecutive games for a 3rd time this season, also extends his on-base streak to 11 games. J.J. Weatherholt, he's got 20 walks since the All-Star break. That's tied for 3rd most among National League batters. Also gets his 109th hit from the leadoff spot, tying Mason Wynn for 5th all-time among Cardinals rookie leadoff hitters. Wally Moon with 115 in 1954 ranks 4th. So that's the next milestone for him to get to. He is 6 away from that. Cesar Prieto snaps his 0 for 28 dating back to last year with his first hit of 2026, a single to right in the 5th inning, and also scores his first major league run. Justin Brule has not been scored upon in 6 career appearances against the Phillies, and the Cardinals holding the Phillies to 1 run total or less in consecutive games for the first time since April 19th and 20th of 1996. My favorite Cardinals team of all time, 1996 at Veterans Stadium. They had back-to-back 1-0 wins. They also get back to above 500 for the first time since July 26th. They win their 4th consecutive series against Philadelphia for the first time since they've won 6 straight. That was back from 2015 to 2017. They turn 9 double plays over the 3-game series. That ties their most in a series this year. They have played in 3 straight games in 90 degrees or hotter weather. First time doing so in a 3-game series since June of 2024 against San Francisco. And one of those games was the Rickwood game in Birmingham. And yeah, those are the big numbers from this one. So that is By the Numbers. Always appreciate Cardinals PR for putting those together. By the Numbers being sponsored by Bank of Springfield, Bank Boldly, Bank with BOS, member FDIC. Cardinals get the win today. Sam sends in a message, and he says, a nice series win for the Cardinals. Leahy continues to prove that he belongs in the rotation. Nice timely hits for the Cards in the 5th inning as well. Yeah, those bunch of 2-out hits. John Rooney likes to talk about keeping the line moving, and that's exactly what they were able to do in this series and in that inning specifically. I should say in that inning specifically when they had all the 2-out hits. Our guy Walt sends in a message, says very timely hitting. 5 of the 8 hits came in the 5th. 4 of those after 2 outs. That's exactly what we are talking about. They were able to come through in a pretty big way. Carlos sends in a message, says, I'm happy the Cardinals take 2 out of 3 from the Phillies and are over 500, just 3 games out of the final National League wild card spot. They're in it. I don't know if they're going to catch them. I don't know if they're going to be there, be a playoff team this year. Don't know that at all, but I do know that they continue to stick around, and they're playing meaningful games here in the middle of August, and they're going to continue to play meaningful games, and I hope that pays out some dividends for this team. Text message comes in from the 850, says, it was refreshing to see so many runs scored today without any home runs. That is a winning formula. Yes, but it's a formula that's rare. That's the thing. What they did today was not easy to do. I give them all the credit in the world. It was fun to watch. That was so much fun to watch, all the 2-out hits. It just doesn't happen very often in today's Major League Baseball. For you to be a good team that's going to score a bunch of runs consistently, you have to hit home runs. It's great when you have situations like today. That was awesome. I'm not poo-pooing that at all. But when you say it's a winning formula, it's not something that you're going to do a lot, but you appreciate that they were able to do it today. Ball game with the 61st tip of the cap goes to Jordan Walker for doing it by air and land. That was a great catch. That was a great catch by Jordan Walker. And also his raise of the glass goes to Gordon Graceffo for the 5 big outs to keep the Phillies uninterested in coming back. I think they were interested. I just don't think that they were able to do so. Really good work by the bullpen. We have to give the bullpen credit. If we are going to get after them when they do not do the job, you gotta lift them up when they do the job. Justin Bruihl, fantastic, and he's been really good this year. Justin Bruihl's ERA now is 3.32. He's got a 3.32 ERA. He's become a leverage guy. He's a multi-inning guy. He has become one of the most valuable pitchers out of the bullpen. Gordon Graceffo, his 5 outs got his ERA down to 3.17, and that's another good performance from Luis Gastelum. You knew it was going to take a little while for him to get there, and I'm not saying he's for sure all the way there, but it's pretty good. It looks pretty good right now for Gastelum. All right, that's going to just about do it for this edition of the Circus Sports Extra Innings Show, but don't go anywhere. We've got our 5 o'clock news with Maria, and then I'll be joined by Kevin Wheeler for Redbird Rush Hour during the 5 o'clock hour, and then Sports Open Line, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock tonight. So you do not want to go anywhere. For those of you watching on the video stream, just stick around. All those programs going to air on this live stream that's going on right now. But before we get to news, we got to get to traffic here on KMOX.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, there's a ton of traffic out there right now. They're still working a crash eastbound 44 at Jefferson. Only left lanes are open. Traffic's jammed back to about still slow, though, from Manchester all the way up through that area. Southbound Doherty Ferry, Big Bend down to Tesson Ferry, busy. Westbound 44 doing better, but still slow. Kings Highway to Hampton. There's slow traffic again in pockets from Jameson all the way out to Barrie due to earlier road work they had picked up recently. And southbound 55 from about Bayless all the way down to 270 is pretty busy. On the Illinois side, other delays, east and westbound 5570 between 203 and 111, heavy, and eastbound 64, 157 all the way through to Highway 50, exit 14 east of 159. You've got delays. Next update at 5:20 from the michaelsflooringoutlet.com traffic center.
News, traffic, and the latest on the Redbirds. This is the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Sponsored by Busey Bank. Building community with Busey Bank. Beyond the game. And by St. Luke's Hospital. St. Louis's #1 heart hospital.
All right, guys, welcome into Redbird Rush Hour here on a Wednesday. Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here, coming off of Cardinals taking 2 of 3 from the Phillies. Matt, what's happening? And I don't even mean the 2 out of 3. Like, all right, fine. But Andrew Painter gets you.
Yeah.
But you win when Christopher Sanchez started. Now, you didn't do anything against Sanchez. Who cares? You know, Andre Palante matched him, and you end up winning the game. And you actually did some damage against Zach Wheeler today. That's the stuff that's fun. This team is weird. They do odd things, but I think I know I said it's weird, Matt, but maybe weird should be what we expect. It should be the norm when you're a team that's still a bit of an unknown and still very young and kind of figuring out what they're going to be.
That's so Cardinals. That's who they've been all season long. And
Weird.
I've said, like, this is why anytime somebody says to me, well, hey, the Cardinals have an easy stretch coming up, or the Cardinals have a tough stretch coming up, like, I don't care, and it doesn't matter unless it's the Milwaukee Brewers. The Milwaukee Brewers are the only good team in baseball that the Cardinals just seemingly can have zero success against. Every other good team in baseball they've played against, they've showed the ability to beat them, and every bad team that they've played against, they've pretty much shown the ability to possibly lose to them as well. So I'm being a little over the top. It's not that extreme, but that's closer to being true than the opposite of that. So look, give them credit because nobody saw them losing that first game and then taking the series. That's exactly what they did. They have a big inning today. Big innings are what you need. You are rarely going to put together an inning like that they had the 4 2-out hits to be able to score those runs. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was very entertaining.
It's great when it happens. That's I heard you talking about that just a little bit ago on the Extra Innings Show. It's great when that happens, but that's not the design. Right?
No.
Like that's not the plan because that's a low percentage plan. The number of times that any team is going to get, forget the 4 2-out hits, like 4 or 5 hits in the same inning, that's going to be really low because, we all know it now. I mean, it's the stuff of the pitchers. It's the way pitchers are used. It's the way that defenses are. Positioning on defense is so much better than it's ever been at any time in baseball history. And they pitch to that, right? So they set the defense and then they pitch to it. So it's not that it's impossible. We just saw it happen. It's just not common because of all of these factors.
Kevin, we got a severe weather situation, so we are going to
I'm in the
pause
middle of it, I can tell you right now.
for just a moment, and I'm going to hand things off to the great Maria Kina.
Hey, Matt. Kevin, it'll only take me a minute here. St. Charles County, it's a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:30. This was producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with small hail as well. So some areas affected right now: Wentzville, Flint Hill, Old Monroe, Lake St. Louis, O'Fallon, Dorton Prairie, St. Peters, Weldon Spring, as well as Cotterville and Campville and St. Charles and Harvester, and also for Franklin County. Now, this one's in effect until 6 o'clock this evening, and this affects Bay, Swiss, Berger, Drake, New Haven, Owensville, Rosebud, Gerald, Lyon, Washington, Leslie, Buford, and Noster Mills. So, again, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, one for St. Charles until 5:30 and the one in Franklin County until 6 o'clock. Matt?
All right, thanks, Maria.
Yeah, just so you guys, if you're watching on the stream, if you notice my lights go out, it's because I'm in the middle of all that right now.
Okay.
I'm hearing it at the moment. I got thunder going on outside. I just got a warning on my phone like, ooh, severe weather. So, yeah, and it's coming your way, Matt, so enjoy.
Okay, yeah, it's clear as day in downtown St. Louis right now.
Give it about a half an hour,
All
buddy.
right, we're ready. We're hunkering down. Hey, I'm here till 8 o'clock tonight. We're hunkered down in the KMOX studios. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in a good spot. You're in a good spot. All right, so back to that and where the team is now. I mean, if you're looking, this to me, this is interesting. We don't know. As you just pointed out, the team is weird. They could be on the verge of a big run. I mean, they've won 7 of their last 10, right? I mean, they also could go to Chicago and have trouble with the Cubs. We just don't know. But here's what we do know. You're 3 games out of a wild card spot right now. Very good chance that it's 2.5 here in about the next 20 minutes because the Rockies are beating the Diamondbacks, and the Diamondbacks are currently the number 2 team, tied with the Padres.
The Padres are also losing to the Brewers right now.
Right. And so both of those teams could both lose, which looks like they will. No guarantees, of course, but if they do, you're only 2.5 games out. But you still have to jump the Phillies and the Marlins. But still, you're only 2.5 games out of either of those 2 spots, and only 2 teams between you and those 2 spots.
Yeah, they're right where they'd want to be. Right? Okay, would they like to be in a playoff spot? But the point being, like, when the season got started, Kevin, even 2 weeks ago, when it seemed like, when it was clear that this was going to be a selling team at the deadline, if you were to tell me that the Cardinals on August 12th are going to be 2.5 back with 2 teams to jump over to get into a playoff spot, I would have taken that. Everybody would have taken it on opening day if you would have said that's where they're going to be on August 12th. And people probably would not have suspected they were a seller if that was the situation that you were going to be in. But that's how it's all played out. So, yeah, I think it's fine. Go keep playing games that are meaningful. Go win as many games as you possibly can. And if the Padres or the Phillies or the Diamondbacks or all of the above want to pull a New York Mets from last year and just fall flat on their face, be ready to walk through a door that might get opened for you.
Yeah, and look, so far, the guys they moved off of haven't hurt them.
No.
Right? I mean, they've been killing it since now, that doesn't mean it's going to continue. We still have, 6-7 weeks in the regular season, and if you were to get into the postseason, I think that would be the spot where you'd be like, man, I wish we had Dustin May. I wish we had that guy that was blowing 98, 99, gives you a little bit more room for error. But either way, look, you and I have talked about this. I saw, I've heard both John and Rick and then Chip and Brad talk about this too on broadcast. The experience of being in important games in September is important, even if you don't make the playoffs. Now, if you do, great, bonus. That's an even bigger experience. But, these guys, and Ollie's just talked about that this week, Matt, that some of these younger guys are, running into the wall because they've never done this before. You've never done it at this intensity for this long a period of time. And that's okay. To learn how to do it, you got to do it. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it. There's no other way to figure out how to make it through. So I think having that value, and as it stands now, Matt, barring a really bad collapse to finish August, you are going to be playing games that are meaningful in September.
Yeah, that's what I keep saying because, again, you're not contending against the best teams in baseball for these playoff spots. You are contending against teams that are right around 500, just like you. And and these teams are probably not going to go on these runs. That's why I've gotten frustrated before when people have said, oh, the Cardinals are going to be 10 games out. Oh, the Cardinals are going to be a last place team. Oh, the Cardinals this. Oh, the Cardinals. Go look at the teams that they're next to in the standings. The Cardinals might not be as good as any of them, and they might be winning some games with bubble gum and zippers and scotch tape and whatever else, but there's not that much of a difference. And just to go back to something you said, because we got a comment from John who said, I think the Cardinals can win playoff games with Palante, McGreevy, and Leahy. In the past, they did it with Loesch, Suppan, and Weaver. I would push back on that a little bit, and maybe I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility that if you got in, you could steal that wild card series at the beginning, but that is, and this is what you were saying about Dustin May, Kevin.
Yeah.
When you want to have sustained success in the playoffs, you have to have swing and miss from your starters. And as much as I think the world of the seasons that all 3 of those guys are having, and it's so much fun, that's not the group that I'm going to be overly confident in if you are going in and playing in the playoffs with them.
No, and citing an example from 20 years ago is not exactly the way to go. Because it's a different game. Like if you go back to that time period, Kyle Loesch was probably slightly above average velocity for that time period, or right about it. Soup would have been a little below, but not by much. It's an entirely different sport in terms of how pitchers are, how hitters attack pitchers, all of those things. Not to say, and again, I'm not saying you cannot do it with those guys. Of course you can. I mean, the postseason's all about hot streaks. So if you catch 3 starters all on a hot streak, sure, it's possible. It's just not likely. And to tie these two things together, Matt, before we hit a break, when you're facing Milwaukee, I mean, look, Milwaukee is almost 14 games better than you. Like, they're not close. The Cubs are almost 10 games ahead of you. The Braves are 10 games ahead of you. The Dodgers are 10, 12 games ahead of you. When you're facing those teams, the deeper lineups, the ones that go 1 through 7, 1 through 8 with threats, that's where it's going to be tough. And to be completely clear, some of this is because you don't have the super bullpen that other teams have either.
Right.
So if you had those guys and you were following them up with like the Padres bullpen, where they can bring 5 guys out in a row throwing 100, that's a different thing. Where the Cardinals, we're still struggling if it's not one of your 2 or 3 best guys.
Yeah,
we're still kind of piecing it together.
If you go to the Padres and say, hey, when you're playing 2 games over 3 days or 2 games over 4 days and you need to get 5 innings out of your bullpen each game because you're only going to get 4 innings out of your starter in the playoffs, that works. If you're telling me that you need to get 5 innings out of your bullpen every night for the Cardinals, I don't think that's going to work.
No, and look, this is where some of these teams, it doesn't work very well in the regular season because you wear your guys out.
Yeah.
But in the postseason, as you point out, you don't ever play more than a couple days in a row. You've got, usually it's an off day, play a couple, off day. So having the extra off days really allows teams to go full bullpenning.
And that's why they do it. We could make the argument if they should change the playoff schedule just to not change the way the playoffs are played so differently than the regular season.
It's an interesting point. Yeah, it's an interesting point. All right, that's Matt Pauley. I'm Kevin Wheeler. We're here with you till 6 o'clock. So much more. This is actually kind of a feel-good day, Matt. I mean, not only did you take 2 or 3 from the Phillies, but we're getting ready for a series against the Cubs, which should be a hell of a lot of fun. So we got a lot to do between now and 6. Keep your questions, comments, opinions coming on the stream. We'll definitely hit those along with all the other stuff we have planned. So hang tight. We'll pick back up with Redbird Rush Hour here on KMOX.
There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Here's reason 17. In today's new world, many law firms have had money injected into their firms by Wall Street, private equity, and other lenders. This money usually comes in at very, very high interest rates. It's one of the reasons you see so many lawyers advertising. I'm John Morgan. This money is expensive and the interest compounds quickly. These law firms can have a huge need for cash just to pay that debt. Why does it matter to you? My fear is your case is settled early and for far less than it's worth, just to service the loan that has mafia-like rates. Our financial strength is your advantage. That plus our reputation makes our firm your firm. Visit forthepeople.com to see our results and verdicts. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, it's still pretty busy out on the area highways. This traffic reports the service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. Westbound 70 Union out through Jennings Station, almost Lucas Hunt's heavy. You heard Kevin talking about the weather out in St. Charles. You've got delays, just slow traffic due to the rain that moved through from 270 pretty much all the way out to about Bryan Road, and eastbound 70 coming in from David Hokel to Wensfield Parkway is kind of slow as well. 364 has a couple of spots west of 141 out through Heritage Crossing. Northbound 270, the right lane's Dorset up to 70 are slow, and it's also slow northbound from Manchester up to almost Olive from an earlier crash. Speaking of northbound and crashes, we have a crash that I mentioned, north 170 north of Ladue. Left lane still blocked. It's jammed back onto 64. Westbound 64, bumper-to-bumper pockets approaching Kings Highway out to McCausland, but it's slow all the way out to pretty much Maryville Center from that area, from the city limits. Then Clarkson to Topgolf, and it jams from Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to 70. South 270, Ladue, down to Doherty Ferry, the busiest part. Westbound 44, still some slow stuff from River to Pear out past Elm, and then 270 out to Bowles. Southbound 55 just kind of busy coming through Lindbergh, and then midway down from M to Z. 44 eastbound past the bridges downtown heavy. 5570 eastbound from 64 through 111. Westbound from Black Lane to 203. There are heavy pockets, and eastbound 64, 157 to 50. You've got congestion. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Now at Lowe's, faster quotes start at the Lowe's Pro Desk. Got a material list handwritten on a sticky note or saved as a photo? Perfect. Bring it to us and get a quote in minutes. And if you don't see what you need on the shelf, we'll help you get it. You can access thousands of products beyond what's available in-store or on Lowe's.com, right from the Lowe's Pro Desk. Build quotes faster and source the materials you need to keep your jobs moving. Just like that, at Lowe's.
Hey, it's Brew. Between my radio show, filming content, editing videos, and trying to stay connected with family, reliable Wi-Fi isn't really optional anymore. I just need it to work. That's why I like that with Xfinity, you get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years, guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, Xfinity makes getting connected simple with same-day Wi-Fi so you can get online in minutes. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Sponsored by Busey Bank. Building community with Busey Bank. Beyond the game.
All right, good to be with you guys on a Wednesday. Cardinals with the win over the Phillies today. And, of course, they won yesterday as well, so they take 2 out of 3. Phillies are an interesting team, Matt.
They are.
They've got the real star power at the top end of their roster, but they're really thin. Thin in the rotation, although they're a little better now since they added after the trade deadline. But, again, really you've got 3 guys that are fantastic, and then it kind of thins out. Their lineup's kind of the same as the Cardinals in that way, where, like, they have the top 4 or 5 is really good, and then after that it's like, well, I can get those guys out. They're an interesting team, and they've had a weird year because they were awful to begin the year and put themselves in this position. But again, I think you said it earlier in a text to me, or maybe to our group on KMOX with the KMOX Sports guys, and that was, when it comes to the Cardinals this year, is it they're just so much about what they do.
Yeah.
Which is every coach on the planet preaches that, right? It's all about whether you do your job or not. And the teams that do their jobs the most often are the good ones, and that's why those guys, by the way, that's why the big boys get paid, Matt, because the guys that are getting paid a lot of money have proven that they do the job on a regular basis. And that's why those teams with big payrolls tend to be the best ones, because you got players that you can count on.
Yeah. And I appreciate the Cardinals having the last 2 games for sure. Would I love for them to be more consistent? Would I love for them to be a team that, you know what, when they're going to go play teams that are not very good, more often than not, they're going to have a ton of success against them. I'd love that to be part of this team's DNA. It's not, and here they are still above 500, and here they are still in playoff contention. And what you just described, Kevin, is what we want to see from so many of these guys. I think Alec Burleson is on that path. You look at what he did last year, winning a Silver Slugger. This dude is tied for 4th in Major League Baseball with 84 RBIs, and he's tied with Jordan Walker for the team lead. He has been as consistent as anybody. All of a sudden, we're going to start looking at this guy as someone who you can, and what he's doing against lefties lately. He had another big hit against a left-hander today, so those numbers are coming together. You talk about a complete profile. Alec Burleson is giving you that. He's become a very good defensive first baseman. That double play they turned last night, Kevin, the Stanek one, the 3-2-3. I loved everything about it. Burleson his feet were quiet, his hands were quiet. He was right on it. He knew exactly what he was going to do. That was one of the times where I was so thankful that Pedro Pajes was the catcher, because I think he's the catcher on the roster who has the best chance of pulling that off and doing that well, and it worked out quite well. But yeah, I think Burleson's that guy that you can start to count on. When we go into next season, you can start to count on who Alec Burleson is going to be for you. I don't know if there's another guy on this roster that has built out any type of track record yet. Maybe Ivan Herrera a little bit, but even him this year, it hasn't.
He's struggled. He struggled for a month.
Yeah. So Burleson is the track record right now, and there's not much else on the roster.
He's pretty much a top 10 first baseman in the sport.
Yeah.
And Matt, you can just make that statement offensively. You can take defense out of it. And again, he's better defensively than I thought he was going to be for sure. But I would say that the consistency on offense. Look, he's not the 35-40 homer guy, right? but he's the same guy all the time. And to your point, and that's and to me, that's what we're seeing from J.J. Weatherholt is kind of that same thing. Like, he's had some more slumps this year than I think he will in the future because he's a rookie going through it for the first time. But still, even when he's not getting hits, his at-bats are the same. Yeah. His defense is the same. His base running is the same. You know what you're getting, and I think that's a good start. And I think my biggest takeaway, Matt, for the season is whether or not you make the postseason. To me, it doesn't affect this at all. You're closer than anybody thought to being a real contender.
Yeah, and that probably impacts your offseason.
Yeah.
It should. Yeah, it should. If it doesn't, I think we can be critical.
Yeah, I think it's a weird offseason because of the labor stuff, but I don't see any reason why you couldn't target your real bullpen help.
You better.
To go along with what you have, right? I mean, because we saw this earlier today. Baseball America rated the Cardinals the second best farm system in baseball. And, it's going to be different in different places, but still it's a top 5 system pretty much everywhere.
And a lot of that is.
And a lot of them are close. Mm-hmm. So when you throw that together with financial freedom, because you don't have any big contracts weighing you down, and you see that this team is shorthanded. I think we agree. It's shorthanded, but they're finding a way to compete. They're not 3 years away. I think, next year could be significantly better. And by 2028, I don't see why you wouldn't be a team that could contend for the division.
I agree 100%. It should be noted, by the way, on that Baseball America ranking, they were number 2, but they fell back as a J.J. Weatherholt and Jimmy Crooks graduate. So them getting back to that 2 spot is largely based off who they have acquired in the last few months.
Yeah, I think that this year has gone. If you were going to tell me, at this time a year ago, that this is what it would look like over the next 12 months, that you'd be a competitive team into mid-August, that you'd have some breakouts at the major league level, that your minor league system is loaded with breakouts in all areas. You got pitchers. I mean, we haven't talked about it a lot, but like Liam Doyle's starting to figure it out.
Yep.
You look at his last 10 starts, he's got a 3.28 ERA. You look at Joshua Baez making some more adjustments, getting better at AAA. Look at Rainiel Rodriguez.
Insane.
19, and he's got a 900 OPS at AA. That's insane. He's 4 or 5 years younger than the average of the league. And then you've got Bernal taking a big step forward, and Brandon Clark's the hardest throwing lefty in the world, not named Aroldis Chapman, and Quinn Matthews has figured out. I mean, there's a lot going on within AA, AAA, major league level where I think the enthusiasm and the excitement for the short term can play in.
Agreed. And you can dream on these guys, and they are doing things that if they don't have the consistency yet to be big leaguers, but some of the stuff that they're doing would play at the major league level, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Look, Liam Doyle is not quote-unquote ready, but if you bring up a guy throwing 100 with a nasty splitter, he'll get people out. He may have bad innings and wild outings and all that, but I mean, he's got the kind of stuff where you can be like, I think the same is true for Tanner Franklin.
Yeah,
I think you could throw Tanner Franklin in their bullpen right now and he'd get people out. Now, I'm not saying do that, by the way. I'm like, keep developing him as a starter. He's got a ways to go. He's only in his first pro year. But I think that's the thing is you've got guys that can do that. We know Quinn Matthews can help you at this level, and he probably will do that coming up on Monday. All right, stick around. We got another half hour to go here, and then we'll get you to Sports Open Line after the top of the hour. More Redbird Rush Hour after the news here on KMOX.
At 5:30, we have clouds downtown at the Arch, 88 degrees, but it feels like 99 degrees with the heat index. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet. We want to get you up to date with these severe storms. A severe thunderstorm warning for Franklin County in Missouri remains in effect until 6 o'clock this evening. The one in St. Charles, it looks like that might be set to expire at 5:30. No official word coming from the National Weather Service on that as yet. We can look at radar right now and tell you those storms are moving through the St. Charles area and pretty much all around. New Mally, Wildwood, it's moving into Wildwood. You'll see it in Eureka as well as Maryland Heights. So the storm is on the move. It's moving at about 30 miles per hour. In the news this afternoon, Rod Stewart has canceled the next 4 weeks of performances as part of his One Last Time farewell tour and the Encore shows Las Vegas residency after undergoing a routine coronary stent procedure. That's according to Variety. The news comes just days after the singer postponed a show scheduled for Cincinnati's Riverbend Music Center at the last minute. A grand jury indictment has been unsealed charging Nick Reiner with the murder of his parents, Hollywood actor-director Rob Reiner and photographer-producer Michelle Singer Reiner. ABC News legal analyst Royal Oakes has more. We don't have that sound for you right now. The grand jury indictment will allow the prosecution to bypass a preliminary hearing and then go right to trial. Well, if the question is, did AI help write the AI infrastructure framework presented by the Missouri House Future Caucus yesterday? While lawmakers presenting the document denied using AI tools, a check of the document's metadata list OpenAI as the author of that document. State Representative Caucus Chair Colin Wellenkamp was asked about this, and see if we can listen to what he said. Yeah, we don't have that audio either. The document, they say, is intended to help communities inform themselves on the potential impacts AI infrastructure projects might have on their city. And from the Silica Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, the extreme heat warning continues right on through Saturday night at 9 o'clock. That severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for Franklin County. We had that storm located along a line over Washington to 5 miles south of Rosebud, and also over Washington to 7 miles east of Owensville. It's moving southeast now at 40 miles per hour, so it has picked up. Some of the areas in its path: Union, Villa Ridge, St. Clair, Gray Summit, Parkway, Sullivan, Robertsville, Piney Park, Catawissa, and Pacific and Lone Dell. This also includes Interstate 44 in Missouri between exits 225 and 257. We're expecting to see these storms stick with us until about 9 o'clock tonight. Right now, we're at 88 degrees. Make that 85 in St. Peters with those storms. 88 in Florissant, downtown at the Arch. It's still dry. 88 degrees, but it feels like 99. I'm Maria Aquina from Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Don's Garage Doors has been serving families since 1998, and now we're bringing that same great experience to the Lou. We take pride in having a neighbor-first approach to doing business with local technicians who are your neighbors. Don's Garage Doors is new to the area, but we're not new to working extra hard to earn customer trust, one garage door at a time. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Doors.
Don's Garage Doors, Don's Garage Doors. When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on
quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is who do you hire. At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Every step matters. That's why Steve All and the entire team at the All Financial Group have signed up to walk and fundraise for the St. Jude Walk on September 12th. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is leading the way the world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer. And here's what makes them truly remarkable. Families never receive a bill from St. Jude, so parents can focus on one thing, and one thing only, their child. We want you to be a part of this. You can join our team and walk with us on September 12th or simply make a donation. And here's the good news. Steve will personally match every dollar you give up to $1,000. To donate or to register to walk with the All Financial Group, visit steveall.com. That's steveaul.com. Or call 636-230-8824 for more information. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, a registered investment advisor. All Financial Group LLC is not affiliated with St. Jude's Research Hospital and does not accept or collect donations on their behalf.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For dependable, no-pressure home comfort solutions, turn to Huff Heating and Air Conditioning. Locally owned and family operated for over 40 years. Our team will work with you on a plan that fits your home's needs with financing available. And as always, your family's comfort is our family's business. Learn more at huffheating.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the Roll Up Our Sleeves and Pitch In commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. Through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support, community leadership, and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth, since 1868. Member FDIC.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX. Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we still have slow traffic on westbound 70, a little busy around West Florissant. Goodfellow out through Jennings Station. It's kind of slow from Cypress in pockets all the way out to the Blanchette Bridge. Again, the highways maybe still be a little wet from earlier weather. It's busy around Sunbelt, both sides of A to 61. Eastbound 70, David Hochul to Wentzville Parkway is off the pace. Westbound 370 bogs down the Mills out to the Discovery Bridge. There's a little bit of a delay coming through Spencer. Left lane's blocked by a car that hit the median wall there. 364, 141 to the Veterans Bridge is just kind of off the pace. They cleared a crash north 170 north of Ladue. Traffic still jammed back onto 64. Westbound 64 bumper to bumper. Kings Highway to the Tam overpass, but it's slow all the way really out to about Ballas in pockets. Clarkson to Topgolf is busy, and then it's backed up in pockets again. Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to Highway 70. South 270 Ladue down to Manchester busy. Westbound 44 Laclede Station through Elm is slow. Downtown, eastbound 44 backed up between the bridges. Westbound 5570 Black Lane to 203 heavy pockets, and 64 east of 157 to 50 is congested. Next update at 5:50 from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
It's 5:41 in Mid-America. The time check being brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Sponsored by Busey Bank. Building community with Busey Bank. Beyond the game.
All right, good to be with you guys. It is Redbird Rush Hour on a Wednesday. Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here till 6. Matt's got Sports Open Line from 6 o'clock on, 6 till 8. I didn't want to make it all the way on. But, it's only 2 hours. It's not all night.
Yeah.
although you've been there already all day, so it might feel like it.
That's all right. Yeah, I got to the ballpark today about an hour and a half before the game got started. I was there around right around 12. So, yeah, it's been a long day.
Nice. All
But
right.
you know what? I'm not
baseball.
digging ditches, Kevin. I'm
No,
not
I
digging
know.
ditches.
Believe me, I know, man. If anybody knows those long days, it's us. But you also know that it's a fun job.
Yeah, it is.
It's only relative, right? It's
Right.
difficult, relatively speaking. It's not difficult. We would both agree with that. So when we look at what's next, Matt, I mean, obviously Cubs are directly what's next. But what I'm talking about more is getting to September 1st. So getting through these next couple of weeks. We don't know for sure when Joshua Baez is going to come up. It seems, I don't want to say like an established or accepted fact that he will, but it sure seems like it.
Yeah.
The question is, when do they do it? He's been going better lately, so that really argues in his favor. They're not going to call him up if he's in a terrible slump. That's just, teams generally don't like to do that. They're going to wait for guys to be feeling good, making some good decisions. He's been doing some things better here over the last, we say the last 3 weeks. It's kind of been better for him than it was, but he still struggles with high velocity. And by high, I mean up in the zone. So he struggles with fastballs, cutters, anything that's velocity up in the zone is a problem. Big league pitchers are better at exploiting those problems. So that's all they're waiting for. It's not the numbers. The numbers are there. The skill is there. The talent's there. It's just a matter of kind of rounding out softening up some of those rough edges. But he's going to be here at some point, and I think he can be a contributor because what you're doing right now, Matt, is no criticism. You have what you have at the moment, but if you add one more guy in that lineup that can leave the yard once in a while, I think that makes you even better. And for September, they get to add the extra arm too, and I'm assuming that's Quinn Matthews.
Yeah, probably. Although, I mean, they may want to add a bullpen. I'm intrigued by what they're going to do to navigate through this Kyle Leahy thing because they are very concerned about his innings and how. So maybe the extra guy is another starter and it's Quinn Matthews.
Maybe you go 6-man in September.
And maybe you do. And I'm fine with that. And I don't think you're. In some ways, that actually makes you better because there's an extra day before you get to the one guy who's been struggling for you. You've got a rotation right now where 4 of the 5 guys have been pretty darn consistent, and one guy, it's a lot of hit or miss, and unfortunately, there's more miss than hit from Liberatore here recently. So a 6-man rotation, there actually is some sense that goes along with that for sure.
Well, especially when you know that they're going to be careful with Leahy. Palante's fine. I don't think that's a concern. But see, Palante and McGreevy, as reliable as they are, it's not like you're like, well, I don't want to miss this Paul Skeens start. Although maybe Skeens is the wrong example. He's not going great now. But we don't want to short Miz, for example. We don't want to short Christopher Sanchez by going 6-man. But the Cardinals aren't really in that position. And I think it makes sense to spread that work out so you have room to back off of Leahy if you need to, shorten his starts, whatever. And then also, obviously, have a full bullpen. You wouldn't be going short in the pen to do that
and
once you get to September.
If I may, Kevin, if people want to follow along with what's going on in Milwaukee right now, Mizorowski's become a once-a-week pitcher who they're being very careful with.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to be a Tommy Tough guy and say, why are you taking Kyle Leahy out after 5 innings? What are you talking about trying to take the foot off the pedal of Kyle Leahy? This guy, he's a pro ball player. He should easily be able to go 200-plus innings. Like if that's where you're at, and then you think the Cardinals are doing something kind of quirky, well, go look at what the Milwaukee Brewers are doing with Jacob Mizorowski as he is in his first full season of being a full-time starter. He was not that last year for the Brewers, so they're trying to now the performance and the profile and the style are completely different when we're comparing Mizorowski and Leahy, but the Brewers and the Cardinals are essentially trying to accomplish the exact same thing with those two pitchers.
Yeah, and, if you're out there going, well, Leahy doesn't throw 100, it doesn't matter. He's throwing as hard as he throws.
Yeah.
Right? It's about the maximum of your ability, not what the actual miles per hour are. For some guys, 97's free and easy. For Miz, if he's 97, he's going free and easy. Leahy might be able to dial up 97 once or twice. So, it's all about your effort level relative to what your max effort is. Now, Milwaukee's got some more luxury, right? They have the best record in the National League. They're tied with the Rays for the best record in Major League Baseball. Actually, it's a little worse than the Rays, if I remember. Oh, no, the same record. So, they have the best record in baseball. They've got a little bit more leeway, but not that much. They're only 4 games ahead of the Cubs. So it's not like they have the division on lockdown, but they understand that it doesn't matter if you're in the playoffs if Miz isn't right.
Right. If the Milwaukee Brewers want to win a World Series, they have to do it behind Jacob Mizorowski. You have to win his starts, so have him ready for the playoffs no matter what that ends up looking like.
Yeah, and we can argue all we want about whether it should or shouldn't be necessary. I would say that the general statement, hey, a 27, 28-year-old big leaguer should be able to go, 100 pitches 32 times, but if you haven't done it in 3 or 4 years, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Right? There is something to be building up workload, whether it's running, weightlifting, playing football, playing basketball, whatever. You still got to build up to doing those things.
Kevin, we have another severe weather situation.
Okay, let's go.
So I'm going to hand things back off to Maria Kina.
Thank you, Matt. The good news, Franklin County, that one has expired now in St. Charles County, but we have 2 new severe thunderstorm warnings for Washington and Jefferson counties in Missouri. This is moving 60 mile per hour wind gusts with small hail indicated right now. Sullivan, Bourbon, Ditmer, Cedar Hill Lakes, Cedar Hill, Richwoods, Burns Mill, House Springs, Antonios Mill, Hillsboro, DeSoto, Antonia, Barnhart, Olympian Village, Horine, Peevely, Herculaneum, Festus, and Crystal City. They are all in the path of this storm now and under that warning. Also, Interstate 44 in Missouri from exits 218 and Interstate 55 in Missouri from exits 170 to 187. So again, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 6:45 tonight for Washington and Jefferson counties in Missouri.
Maria, thank you so much. That's Kevin Wheeler. I'm Matt Pauley. We'll take a break. We've got more coming up in just a moment. It's the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Things in Washington, D.C. may seem unsettled at times by their lack of progress, but one department in the U.S. government is progressing. That is the IRS. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS is in full function to collect on unpaid taxes. If you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and get it resolved. Don't think the government is too busy to focus on my issues. Too many of my clients thought the same. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Lance Story Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Or call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceStoryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You touch lives. You give smiles. You are someone's favorite person. Your health matters. Give yourself and those who love you peace of mind. Schedule a routine cancer screening and take control of your health today. Learn which cancer screenings might be right for you, and to schedule an appointment in your area, visit GetScreenNow.com. That's GetScreenNow.com. Or call 314-501-6271. Siteman Cancer Center, for the lives you touch.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, the rain and storms continue to move through different areas of the metro, so that's impacting your drive. That's what it's looking like on westbound 70 right now. Riverview out through Jennings Station, a pretty damp stretch there, so it's backed up. Eastbound 70, Hanley into Florissant Road's a little slow. Westbound from about the Rock Road all the way out to 5th Street is pretty busy. After that, there's just some slow stuff at K and approaching 61, better out west. 370, still delays west of the Mills to our city, and a little jam past Salt River. The left lane's blocked by a spin-out crash there. 364, approaching the Veterans Bridge out to 94 Muget, a little busy. North 170, heavy from the Parkway to Delmar. Southbound from the Parkway to 64, delays. Westbound 64 off the pace. Kings Highway all the way out through Lindbergh. Eastbound Lindbergh into Big Bend is heavy. The westbound side, Clarkson to Topgolf and still off the pace. Lake St. Louis Boulevard to 70. Southbound 141, 64 down to Milldale. Looks pretty jammed. Looks like we have an incident there. South 270 is clear. Westbound 44 is still busy at Elm. Southbound Telegraph, Forder down through Baumgartner's on the brakes. Westbound 5570, 255 through Black Lane, then it's not as bad. And eastbound 64, midway between 157 up to 159, you've got delays. I'm Roger Brand at the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Sponsored by Busey Bank. Building community with Busey Bank. Beyond the game.
All right, a few more minutes left here on Redbird Rush Hour. Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here. And then, of course, Matt's got Sports Open Line after the top of the hour. What you doing tonight, Matt?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. Bernie Miklasz is going to be on for his weekly conversation at 6:20. And every year I sit down with Anouk Kuruntarante, the president of business operations for the Cardinals, kind of do a state of the business side of things for the club, and that's going to be in the 7 o'clock hour. I got a lot of reaction to it when I did it last year. People enjoy hearing that side of it, so I recorded that with them this afternoon over at the ballpark, and that's going to air during the 7 o'clock hour tonight.
Very cool. Very cool. More baseball, I guess is what you're saying.
Yes.
To cut that all short. All right, what did we miss? I mean, as far as getting ready for the Cubs, coming out of this series against the Phillies, I feel like, you know.
Here's what we missed. Here's what we missed, Kevin Wheeler. Mason Wynn is playing some really good baseball right now.
Yeah, he's had about a good, 10 days? I mean, offensively, he's had a great season defensively. I mean, he's a stud defensively. There's never any variation there. It's really, truly, when we talk about, like, reliability earlier, stability, consistency, knowing that that's going to be there every day, and he and Weatherholt both in the middle infield is really big. Now, can we see the offense stick around a little bit, Because if you look at it, the last 8, 9 days, 10 days, it's been really good.
Been really good.
But even that, like overall for August, it's still only a 661 OPS, and it was 611 in July. But you're right. I think this last week is what we're talking about. And if he can be that guy more often, not hit 320 or whatever, but like just be more productive more often, it certainly lengthens the lineup.
I agree. So this is what gets me fired up sometimes about Mason Wynn. I feel like I die on the hill sometimes of how good of an offensive player he potentially can be because you see these flashes. I don't know how many times I've gone through, on various years of, well, hey, look at this month, look at this stretch. And I hold hope to him being able to do that for an extended period of time. So I love what we've seen from Wynn. Some of the defensive plays he's pulled off in the last week or so have just been dumb. I mean, they've been so... He's the only person walking the face of the earth that can pull off some of these plays.
If Ozzie didn't already have the wizard, we could give it to Wynn.
Yeah.
He's that kind of player.
Look, you're not seeing there's really good we are in a golden age of shortstops in Major League Baseball right now. They're defensively. They're not doing what Mason Wynn is doing. He is on his own right now.
No, he's unbelievable. And, for all this time, I've wanted there to be that upside for Mason Wynn offensively. I believed it a couple of years ago, and I think that it's like the physical part is still there, but man, his everything about his presence in the box, like his back foot's always going the wrong direction. Like, what's that all about? Usually you anchor your backside so you can use that to create some power, but it just slips out of there every time, and he seems off balance. But at least now what he's doing, Matt, is kind of playing into that, right?
Shoots the ball to right
shooting
field.
The ball to right center field and all that. But how quickly does that turn around if people just start pounding them in? I can't believe they don't do it. Because when I see that body cross over, when I see that back foot go backwards and that front foot you're crossed over, it's really hard to pull the hands in on that. It doesn't mean they're not trying to. But yeah, it's pretty good. And I think it's there, Matt. I don't know what it takes to get to it. He hasn't fully gotten to it, but I do think the physical capability is there.
He's an athletic dude, so there's a lot of things that when you look at his hitting profile, you say somebody with as much athleticism as him should be doing better in these areas.
You would think, but then again, there have been a lot of athletic middle infielders over the years that don't hit.
How about Cesar Prieto getting his first hit?
Hey, how about that?
Yeah.
It barely got out. Who cares, man? Get that first one out of the way. So
and that started the big inning.
Yeah, and he hit a splitter too, so good for him, man. I felt good. I don't know that he's a big league player long term, but I'll tell you what, I feel for anybody that's got that offer going for a long time.
Me too.
Yeah. All right, buddy, have a good show tonight. Looking
Thanks.
forward to catching it. Sports Open Line coming up next with Matt Pauley here on your home for the Cardinals, KMOX.
Summer is waning, sadly, I know, but you've had enough time now to really assess how your outdoor space is working. Is it working for you? You've probably noticed whether the deck is starting to buckle or splinter and needs replacing, or you'd really like a fence to separate you and your neighbor. Whatever it is in your outdoor space, it's never too late to call Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best. Now, what does that mean, the sign you have the very best? Well, first of all, Chesterfield Fence and Deck has been around for 58 years, a third-generation locally owned family company. They also have an incredible reputation because they only use the best quality materials, and they have their own installation crews, which is very important because they have years of experience. And Chesterfield Fence and Deck is going to stand behind everything they do. When you mention me, Debbie Monterey, they'll also take 20% off your next outdoor project. So go with the best. It's Chesterfield Fence and Deck. You can visit them in person, or they'll come to you, or visit online now at chesterfieldfence.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Soldiers Memorial Military Museum looks at American military history through the lens of St. Louis. From the Revolutionary War to the present day, the galleries showcase stories of local service members and delve into the city's wartime history. Outside, the Court of Honors includes monuments to those who lost their lives in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Admission is free. Find information about special exhibits at mohistory.org/memorial. That's mohistory.org/memorial.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath. It's all about time.
Save time and money.
Do it now, don't wait till later. Call the top-notch renovator. It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, westbound 370 stalls some slow traffic west of the Mills to the Discovery Bridge. Not a jam, just kind of busy. North 170 from Natural Bridge up to Airport Road slow. Westbound 70 at West Florissant through the city limits is a little heavy. Bogged down from 270 to about 5th Street, and after that it looks pretty good. Westbound 64 still off the pace. Science Center headed out to McCausland. Lindbergh out to Ballas, and then it backs up west of Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to 70. Eastbound 64 east of Mason to 270 at the Interbelt delay. South 170 is off the pace at Brentwood. And on the Illinois side, we still have heavy traffic on westbound 5570 from 255 most of the way through 111, and eastbound 64 still slow about midway up the hill from 157 to 159. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Rain in the Midwest, leading to another day of flood alerts stretching from Indiana to Virginia. In Indianapolis, swiftwater rescues taking place. More than a dozen people due to flash flooding in Cambridge City. Resident Michelle Wilson, meantime, says they lost power and their basement is flooded.
We've lived here for like 10 years, and this has never happened. Like the backyard will, get a little bit of standing water in it, but this has never happened before. And we live, our creek is right behind our garage. So it's overflowing, and It's everywhere.
Indiana's governor says straight line winds also caused widespread damage. The Army says 2 people on board an Apache helicopter died when the aircraft crashed in a field near Fort Hood, Texas today. The cause remains under investigation. Caroline Leavitt is leaving her role as White House press secretary at the end of the month. President Trump announced her upcoming departure, adding she will be one of his top outside advisors. This is ABC News. A possible plea deal could still be in play in the federal case of Luigi Mangione, sources tell ABC News. Mangione earlier pleaded not guilty in the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO in 2024. ABC's Matt Rivers says a conference meeting is taking place this week.
We're not sure if there is a plea deal reached on Friday, and that's a big if, what that would mean for the state case. One thing we do know is that state prosecutors have said in the past that if there were eventually a plea agreement reached in the federal case, that state prosecutors would lobby very hard the judge in the federal case to impose an even stiffer sentence or the stiffest sentence that they could possibly allow.
A total solar eclipse swept across the northern hemisphere today. It marked the first time in hundreds of years that Iceland was in the path of totality. Are you ready to try your luck again? Tonight's Powerball drawing has swelled to a $1 billion jackpot. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
At 6 o'clock, we have clouds, thunderstorms around the area. 84 degrees downtown of the Arch. I'm Maria Aquina, in for Michael Calhoun. Our top story, after searching for hours, a 2-year-old is found alive in South St. Louis. St. Louis Police spokesman Mitch McCoy says the child was reported missing by her parents around 8 this morning when they woke up to find that she was gone and the front door was open. McCoy says witnesses reported seeing the child with a homeless woman, only identified as Ashley, and spent hours then searching for known frequent places.
There were multiple locations that we were checking to determine where she possibly was. I don't know if it was that specific address, but there were multiple locations that we were checking.
Now, Ashley was later spotted in the afternoon with the child, but did not initially give police a reason for having her. Police say the child appeared unharmed, only hungry and very thirsty. The toddler was taken to the hospital as a precaution. Ashley was taken into custody, and McCoy says both the woman and the parents could face charges. McCoy adds this is not the first time the child has gotten out of her house. This morning, we told you about AI infrastructure framework the Missouri House Future Caucus presented to local communities as a way to navigate the growing data center industry. An unlikely source is listed as the author, though, of the document.
First reported by KSDK, a check of the properties for the AI Infrastructure Community Evaluation Framework lists an unexpected entity as its author. OpenAI, the parent company of ChatGPT, is listed as the author of the document presented by the Missouri House Futures Caucus to help localities navigate the infrastructure AI relies on. Future Caucus Chair Colin Wellenkamp was asked if AI was used to write this document. His response?
We used templates to give us a baseline framework, and then we added in the information that we got from our own testimony that we supervised. I can tell you this, I did not use any kind of AI tool.
He eventually wavered, saying no AI was used to his knowledge. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A Cole County judge rules a Missouri redistricting referendum and a constitutional amendment limiting legislative power to alter laws passed by initiative will go to trial. The Missouri Independent reports Judge Daniel Green ordered the hearings after Secretary of State Denny Hoskins blocked them from a statewide vote. Now, state law has a September 8th deadline for court orders and adding questions to the ballot. As KMOX has reported, people, not politicians, the group challenged Hoskins' claim that a statewide vote is not required for redistricting plans. If the judge orders a statewide vote, voters will see it on the November 3rd ballot. It'll appear as Amendment 6. The federal government is suing Washington University for firing an employee who complained about race segregation during a mandatory diversity training session. The EEOC alleges WashU retaliated against Amiga Thayer, who was a senior manager at the Siteman Cancer Center, after she objected to being separated from her white colleagues during a university DEI session. The suit claims WashU stripped Thayer of her duties and then eliminated her position after she filed a formal discrimination charge. Taste of St. Louis is getting a total overhaul under new ownership and taking a gap year in 2026. Now, for years, massive production costs were passed straight down to local kitchens, making it hard for smaller spots to show up. Co-owner Patrick Zundel tells Total Information AM their priority during the hiatus is expanding who will be allowed to participate.
Going forward, we want to really just focus on trying to lower the barrier entry for some of the higher end, niche restaurants in town. Kind of give those folks an opportunity to feel like they can, participate in the event and it not hamstring them from a financial standpoint.
The festival is set to make its official return next summer. That's summer of 2027. And at 5, what time is it? 6. I'm taking us back an hour here. It's 6:06. Let's get a check of traffic from Roger Brand in the KMOX Traffic Center. How's it looking, Roger?
Well, it's looking better, Maria, but we still have some delays out there. This traffic reports a service of Financial and Tax Strategies. Northbound 170 still bogged down from 70 up to Airport Road. 70 westbound a little busy at West Florissant. There's some heavy traffic, 270 both ways, really, between 270 and the Blanchette Bridge. After that, it looks better. If you're on north or south 270 ramping onto 70, those ramps are slow. 370 Discovery Bridge to 94 is kind of off the pace. Westbound 64, Hampton to Clayton Skinker, Clayton Warson out to about Ballas, and then it's still slow west of Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to Highway 70. South 170 delays the Parkway. Eastbound 64 heavy through the Intervelt. On the Illinois side, westbound 5570, 255 to 111 still slow, and eastbound 64 delays about midway up the hill from 157 to 159. Southbound 141, Clayton Road down to Milldale. I think there's signal problems there. Same situation on Clarkson. Southbound at Kerrs Mill, I think they may have signal problems. It's backed up in pockets all the way to 64. And both directions, we have big backups on Highway K coming down, actually, South Main Street down to Mexico. Signal problems there. So I want to talk about your USPS Ground Advantage reliable route to get around the backups both ways on Mexico Road. You can take the Woodlawn overpass to the west or Sondern to the east to get around that restriction with the delays. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
And Dave Murray has our forecast from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Our summer dome of high pressure remains in place, so do not look for any changes in our weather until further notice. Partly cloudy skies, spot thunderstorms around 79. We'll do it for the overnight low. It's kind of a steamy air mass. Thursday, partly sunny, hot and humid, spot storms 97. Spot storms partly cloudy Thursday night 77. Instant replay weather Friday, Saturday, and again on Sunday with high temperatures in the upper 90s to near 100. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
And remember, those severe thunderstorm warnings remain in effect until 6:45 this evening for Jefferson and Washington counties. And checking radar here, it looks like right now we have some of those storms moving through around just a little bit about Bourbon, Cuba, Missouri, starting to move in there, Sullivan. And it's moved out of Gerald already, as well as Owensville. It looks like St. Clair County now is going to be getting hit as well. Also DeSoto, parts of Bonne Terre, Park Hills, and by Vernon. Again, these are 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect until 6:45 this evening for Washington and Jefferson counties in Missouri. Right now in St. Peters, they're having a thunderstorm. It's 82 degrees, but the warning's been removed from there. 84 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch, it's 84 degrees. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Come on, let's get going now.
From KMOX Sports.
We're primed and ready. All day, baby. Man, let's go.
This is the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
All right, here we go. Welcome in. It's the Gray Bar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. My name's Matt Pauley. Have you for the next 2 hours this evening till 8 o'clock. We got a lot to get to. We got a whole bunch to get to here on the show tonight. We are going to have Bernie Miklasz joining us in about 10 minutes or so. And then much of next hour is going to be an interview that I did earlier today with the Cardinals president of business operations. I think he's a really, really interesting guy, and I appreciate some of the things he's done with the Cardinals. That's Anuk Karunaratne. He is going to join us in the about 7:20 or so, and we'll have him on for about a half hour. Again, I recorded it over at the ballpark earlier today, just so we could get in the studio together and talk through a bunch of things. But the business side, the business side of sports, I don't think has ever impacted fans more than right now. And we saw that earlier this year with the TV situation, because that was a business thing that was happening. That was a television network going through bankruptcy. That was a major corporation worth over $1 billion in the St. Louis Cardinals trying to figure out how they are going to become a TV production arm as well. Like all those things. Those are business things that are happening that's impacting fans. The experience, the world we're living in right now when it comes to experiential type things, whether it's ball games, whether it's concerts, whatever it might, whether it's going to an escape room, like whatever it might be, we're in a boom right now of people being willing to spend their discretionary dollars on experiences as long as the experience is good enough for it to be worth their dollar. And for some people out there, going to Busch Stadium and watching the St. Louis Cardinals play a baseball game, and that's good enough. They love the game of baseball, and that's enough. But for a lot of people out there, you got to say why going to the ballpark is better than watching it on TV. What's going on that's going to draw you in? And I actually mentioned this with Anook. I'll say it now, though. This past Sunday, I took my family to the game. I wasn't working. It was one of the rare opportunities for me to just be a fan at a baseball game. And the game that I always get to, no matter what, for my family is Build-A-Bear Day. This year they did Build-A-Bear Redbirds. They're pretty cool. And I've got 2 young daughters, and they love the Build-A-Bear Day, and we go every year. And it's just a really good reminder for me, someone who, 90%, 95%, 99% of my Cardinal experiences is sitting in a room where you got to be kind of quiet and you're just watching the game from kind of a scientific standpoint. It's good to go out and experience things. And you know what? Cardinals do a great job on the experience. They do a really good job. We've kind of gotten stuck in the whatever's happened over the last few years on the field, where it became the cool thing not to show up to games, which I still think is odd, because Cardinal fans were trying to send a message, and that's fine. The message can be sent. That's not the odd part. It's just the continuation of that. And it's a good reminder for me that, man, the Cardinals do a really, really good job of putting on a show. And I think it's better. And the fact that the team's playing some good baseball is good as well. So Anook is going to be with us coming up next hour, and we're going to talk through a lot of things from a business standpoint. Navy blue caps are back. We'll start the conversation with that. And Anook met with the media yesterday. I really appreciate this about him and about the way the Cardinals are doing their business right now. He had heard through the grapevine that there was a vocal part of the fan base that wanted the navy blue caps on the road. I was up in the booth one day. He was up in the booth, and he asked me. He asked a ton of people. I'm not trying to claim any credit for the change, but he said, "Matt, are you hearing this?" And I told him. And a couple days later, there's a survey that's being pushed out on social media, a uniform survey. That was like 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. It wasn't that long ago. And then 2 days ago, they announced that the primary cap when the team is wearing road grays is going to be the navy blue cap. That's swift in their movement. That is hearing from fans, reacting to fans' opinions, and doing something about it. So I appreciate that about him, and we'll talk more about that with Anook coming up when he joins us in the 7 o'clock hour. Again, we've got a lot to get to today. Cardinals win today. Fantastic win for a lot of reasons. Another really good pitching performance from Kyle Leahy. The offense, able to put together that 4-run fifth inning, pretty much everything happening with 2 outs except for a Cesar Prieto leadoff single. How about that? Prieto finally gets that hit, and it's the hit that starts a 4-run fifth inning. That's the difference in a 7-1 ball game. You continue to see Alec Burleson do some really, really cool things with the 3 RBIs today. He's now up to 84 RBIs this year. He's tied Jordan Walker for the team lead, 4th in Major League Baseball. just a lot of really good things to get to with the Cardinals. In fact, we're going to talk about that with Bernie Miklasz. He's going to join us in just a moment as we will roll on. But right now, I do want to remind you about my friends over at i3 Broadband. I love i3 Broadband. They are the internet service provider in my home. I could not imagine having any other service provider out there. You know what? There's some bad weather in the area right now. Maybe you're out driving around. You know what you might not know? You might not know if your internet is going to be working when you get home. You get a little shower, and all of a sudden your internet's down for 4 hours. That's what I experienced before I have i3. Now I have i3, and the reliability of it is absolutely amazing. It is the single most reliable internet I've ever had. You don't have the major outages. You don't have the minor ones are the annoying ones. Your internet goes down and you kind of play that game. Okay, is it going to come back up in the next minute or so? Or do I need to go reset my router? That doesn't happen with i3 Broadband. It really doesn't. The pricing, I'm never uncomfortable with how much I'm paying. It's super fast, gig speed internet, 1 gig, 2 gig, 8 gigs. They mirror the upload and download speed. Check them out for yourself. i3 Broadband. Go to i3broadband.com/radio, i3broadband.com/radio.
Listen up. If you have not paid self-employment, business, or individual taxes in years, the IRS will find you. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. I offer real solutions. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today, and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal, or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
See more bees, wasps, or hornets around your home? Carpenter bees can damage wood structures, and wasps and hornets often hide nests inside walls. Don't risk getting stung. Let Rottler Pest Solutions protect your home and family. Call Rottler today or visit Rottler.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call us now. $30 billion was set aside for meso victims, and in most cases, your claim is settled out of court without a jury trial. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Checking your retirement account every day is like weighing yourself after every salad. It usually just causes stress. Let's build a plan that you can feel confident about. Tune in to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturdays at 7 a.m., and let us help you retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Built on a century, focused on today. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. My name is Matt Pauley. Great to have you with us. It's also great to talk with my good friend Bernie Miklas, KMOX sports contributor. He is all over the place here. Sports Open Line, Sports on a Sunday Morning, Redbird Rush Hour, Gas House Gang, Dave Glover Show. If you love Bernie, listen to KMOX. And if you love Bernie, you got to be following him on social media. He does his videos. He also has been doing columns that he's posting for now on Twitter, X, and he'll be doing a little bit more with that coming up in the very near future. Bernie, always great to talk with you. How are you?
Yeah, good to talk to you. I was asking Matt Rocchio if how are Cardinals fans? Is there anything to squawk about at this particular moment? And I'm not giving them a hard time, but I'm just saying that was a heck of a series win. So I doubt that anybody would have too much to fuss about.
Who would have ever thought that they would have lost the first game of that series and come back and won the last two? But we should think that because that's who this year's Cardinals are. They beat good teams. They lose to bad teams. They beat good pitchers. They get almost no hit by guys with a 6 ERA. Like up is down, down is up. What I don't know, but that's who the Cardinals are.
Yeah, I've said on X, and I think I'm echoing with probably 90% of people thought, which is after they blew a game in the series opener, they were facing Andrew Painter, and he pitched very, very well, but still, that was our best shot to, get a win right away. And they just couldn't come through when they had to win the game. So then you're looking at Christopher Sanchez, game 2, Zach Wheeler, game 3. These are not just the Phillies' 2 best pitchers, but these are among the best starters in Major League Baseball. And you look at it, and with all due respect, you just don't like their chances of getting back-to-back wins in those games against those starting pitchers. But they did. And it's pretty remarkable, really. But you're right. They the Cardinals are a very, very interesting team because just when you're ready to kind of throw some dirt on them, they're like, no, not so fast. And they get up and start thrashing around and knocking off good teams. But then when you think, okay, hey, they really got a chance of this, then, they stop scoring runs, the bullpen gets blown up. They're, all of a sudden they're 4.5, 5 games out. And then you're like, okay, let's get the shovels out. Time to throw some more dirt on them. They keep us guessing. They keep our expectations fluctuating. Our expectations are just all over the place all the time. And I think it's a lot of fun. Can I just throw something in real quick to kind of cap off? Basically something you said. I was looking at this earlier in preparation to coming on. So the Cardinals, including today, this season, teams that would be in the postseason if the postseason had started today, the Cardinals are 9-7-2 in series against those teams this year. 9-7-2. Now, if you're going to do it a different way, in series played against teams that have the highest probability of making the playoffs, eventually, the Cardinals are 10-5-2 in series against the teams with the highest playoff probability. I mean, that's pretty amazing stuff, man. Yeah. I mean, I know there's a lot of parity, but that's pretty amazing stuff. But again, to your point, the Cardinals have also given away some series that they shouldn't have, losing to Miami twice, losing to Cincinnati once, losing to the Royals, losing to the Angels. They had a chance to bag some relatively easy series wins and couldn't finish the deal. But there was that one series out in San Diego where they won the first two, and then they had to settle for a split, stuff like that.
Let me add on to your stat there, if you don't mind.
Sure,
because they've been terrible against the Brewers. I believe they've played 3 series against the Brewers. So what they would be 9-4-2 on your first number and 10-3, whatever it was. I mean, if you remove the 3 series losses because of the Brewers, or maybe they split that first one because it turned into a 2-game series and then they played it later. But you get the point that I'm taking. If you remove the Brewers series, that number becomes that much more impressive.
Yeah, and I would throw the Diamondbacks in there. The Cardinals have basically gotten pounded by 2 teams this year.
Yeah.
They're a combined 4-13 against the Brewers and Diamondbacks. So if you look at their record, which is 61-60, let me do the math here real quick. That would be 57, and that would be 13, which would be 47. Okay, I know you can't do this, so it's a cop-out. But other than the Brewers and the Diamondbacks, the Cardinals are 57-47. It's just a reflection about how well they've done against every other good team, relatively speaking, compared to the Diamondbacks and Brewers.
Can I get you fired up, Bernie?
Yeah, man.
Okay. We just got this message that came in. Tom sends in a message on the stream, says, guess DeWitt and Bloom don't care about what us fans care or want. We've been telling them we want Baez, but now they say not this year, sorry, but buy tickets to see a horrific product.
Well, I don't know what to say because I don't want to get in trouble with their bosses. So by telling Tom to go do something. But this team could win 20 in a row, and there would be people sending you text messages like taking shots and telling the DeWitts to sell or whatever. I actually feel really sorry for them. I do. They can't enjoy anything. They're incapable of it.
Yeah.
And by the way, who said that Baez isn't coming up?
He says he says that Derek Gould is reporting that. I just looked at a Derek Gould tweet. It says Joshua Baez on the horizon, but not immediate at the 45-day mark. Yeah. So that's not saying that Baez isn't.
No.
Let me translate.
Tom's got some reading comprehension skills.
That seems to be. Yeah, they are not going to call Baez up at the moment he is able to secure his rookie eligibility for next year by the date. But we're going to see Baez this year. I would be shocked if we don't.
No, they will. And I put a thing on X today about how he had cut down his strikeout rate, his chase rate. He'd made a lot of improvement in a lot of areas, which is they challenged him to do. I still wish he would have a better contact rate against strikes, but he has made major progress. And they're going to reward that progress because they said, listen, this is what we want you to do. And they told him. And they knew he would work on it, and he's worked on it. And what he's done is over, I don't know. Well, it's about a month worth of baseball. What he's done is he sacrificed just a little power to make sure he draws more walks and make sure that he's not chasing pitches and not swinging for the fences every single pitch, where he's had much better pitch recognition and much better plate discipline. And I'm sorry to people like that fine gentleman. I mean, do you think it's worth, in other words, I'm telling you, over the last month, he has made major strides in areas where he really needed to. So for people like that gentleman and others, given his career and what he could do early, but also what we've seen happen to prospects in St. Louis, isn't that extra month, isn't that extra 6 weeks to get him more prepared to the big leagues? Isn't that worth it? Or are you just totally cuckoo?
No, it is. And I think the bigger thing here, Bernie, it's a good reminder to people, because I get into this too. We see guys who are putting up big numbers at AAA, and we go gaga over them. And then they get here, and sometimes they're ready and sometimes they're not. We went gaga over getting Jimmy Crooks here. And I still would like to see Crooks get more time than he's getting, but the numbers have been underwhelming. Some of us went gaga for Brian Torres. Some of it, there's a million guys Luis Gastelum. We thought he was going to be the next coming of Dennis Eckersley, and he gets here and he's going to be a really good pitcher in the big leagues.
I think he is too. Yeah.
But he's not there right now. It's going to take a little bit of a process. So, and then these guys don't perform, and these same people are looking for the next shiny toy at AAA. Major League Baseball is hard, Bernie. It's really hard.
It is. Well, I'm gonna be a jerk, and I'm gonna bring this back up. I can't tell you how many times in my various media efforts I put out the word based on research and some stuff I didn't like to see at all, even though I like Jimmy Crooks. I kept telling people when everyone was banging the drum and everyone was going absolutely bananas to get him up, everybody. I was saying, it's not a good idea, man. There's a lot of holes in his swing. Give him some time to kind of smooth things out. He's not ready. He's not ready. Oh, shut up, Ernie. Shut up. Quit being so negative. Shut up. So I was told to pipe down and go sit down. Okay. How's that working out? How's it working out?
It's been tough for him, and he has moments. I like Jimmy Crooks. I don't want to make this a Jimmy Crooks bashing session. I just want to, and people did the same thing with Nolan Gorman years ago, and now those same people never want to see Nolan Gorman play in the big leagues.
Yeah, again. How's that working out? Yeah, don't listen to me though. I don't know anything.
Okay,
so I want to see Joshua Baez come up here with his best chance right away for success. I don't know why anyone who is an actual real Cardinals fan would want something else other than what I just said, for him to have his best shot at early success in his career.
Yeah, because think about, I would love to get in the DeLorean and play out Jordan Walker's career where he's given time to marinate at AAA. There would still be some stuff that they would have had to fix with him. I'm not saying that who he is right now is who he would have been 1 year later if they wouldn't have called him up, or 3 months later if they would have given him some time at AAA. And plus, Cardinals player development then was not what they are now in terms of helping guys. So I'm not saying it's a magic potion to make guys better, but we did see when you rush somebody up like a Jordan Walker, sometimes that can put you back a significant amount of time.
No doubt about it. And like you said, it happens everywhere. It's not just the Cardinals. It happens everywhere. And I think Chaim Bloom is a guy who is more prudent. And one of the things I really respect about him is he's not going to respond or pay attention. He's not arrogant. He's just very focused. He's not going to respond or pay attention to people, media, fans, both, who are impatient and want something to happen right now and do this now. We want him now. He tunes all that out because he wants to do what's best for the player. And there are times that we all disagree with Chaim Bloom. I think we all disagree with him on Matthew Liberatore. I'm not saying I agree with everything he does, but the one thing I like about him, and he is very, very disciplined. He knows what his plan is. He knows with that great staff he has down working in the minors, which is light years ahead of what they had before. He monitors these guys with such advanced knowledge of the stuff that's important and literally, day by day trend lines and everything else. He's not going to bring somebody up unless he's confident that he can have instant success. And I think Jimmy Crooks, and again, I like him and I think he'll hit, but he's a bit of a cautionary tale. They weren't wrong to bring him up because they did wait. They waited a long time after, there were a few of us saying, no, not so fast, not so fast. They did wait. But it's just kind of tough for Jimmy Crooks. The way they use him, I think, is a little tough too. And he can't really hit left-handers. And that was going to be the case whenever he got to the majors. So they're trying to thread the needle with him, and it sort of goes back into the big problem they have with too many catchers right now.
What I really wanted to get into with you, and it took me this long to get here. I look at the stat sheet for the Cardinals, and I see Kyle Leahy, 23 starts, 3.38 ERA. Michael McGreevy, 23 starts, 3.64 ERA. Andre Palante, 23 starts, 3.46 ERA. Three dudes, Bernie, who have not missed a start this year, had nothing guaranteed at the beginning of the year, especially when it comes to Leahy and Palante, and three guys who are putting up fantastic numbers. So much credit all over the place. The Cardinals pitching coaches deserve credit. These players deserve credit. Player development deserves credit. But this is remarkable. I don't think I would have believed somebody if they would have told me in the middle of August those three guys had all not missed a start and they all had ERAs at 3.6 or below.
You set me up on something. I put this up on X a couple of hours ago. I think it's about dang time that people start paying attention to how good the Cardinals starting pitching is. I am at a loss to explain why people are so oblivious. Not everyone, but too many people. I get stuff in my inbox about their starting pitching is so mediocre. Boy, this and that. Can I just throw a couple things at you?
Let's go.
Since July, by the way, these are all facts, okay? I live in the world where facts matter, okay? Thanks. Just wanted to clarify. Since the start of June, right? Since the start of June, no, I take that back. I'm sorry, I'm messing up my own note, and I apologize. Since the start of July, the Cardinals, after today's start, going into today's start, but it still holds true. Since the start of July, the St. Louis Cardinals have the best starting pitching ERA in the majors, and their fielding independent ERA is also number one. If you go back, I'm saying, okay, because I don't want to cherry pick. Let's look at the whole season, 121 games. Cardinals came into today 10th overall and 4th in the National League in starting pitching ERA. That's the whole season. And that got even better today. They were also 10th overall and 4th in the National League this season, starting pitching and fielding independent ERA. They were 9th overall and tied for 3rd in the National League in quality starts. And they're doing all of this with a major liability in the rotation. And yet I get mail. I get people hollering at me on X or whatever. They need to fire Dusty Blake.
Yeah.
What? What are you? This is amazing what this rotation is doing, given how limited we thought this rotation was. It's amazing what they've done. And again, that's a fact. I'm not just like throwing stuff up against the wall. These are facts that I'm putting out there on the table, right? Oh, and one more thing. Not one starting pitcher has spent a day on the IL this season. Mm-hmm. You got starting pitchers across Major League Baseball blowing up every day. The IL is like the most populated list in American sports with starting pitchers and relievers. The Cardinals have lost no one from the rotation to injury. Not one day. Hunter Dobbins had an injury. He was on the IL, but it was because it was a knee injury that he suffered in Boston, and he was rehabbing it as a Cardinal. But yet, fire Dusty Blake. Wow.
We're 100% like-minded on this one, Bernie. I have to laugh at myself a little bit because in the offseason, I think when I was doing some of the countdown shows with Mike Claiborne, one of my lines that I said a bunch because I talked about last year, the Cardinals never having a starting pitcher go on the injured list last year. I said it a bunch of times. I said, we'll probably never go through another season in our lifetime where we see a starting rotation for the Cardinals not have a single pitcher go on the IL. Now, look, there's still plenty of time left for something to happen this season, but that seemed so incredibly fluky because that's not supposed to happen, and now basically the same thing is happening again this year.
Absolutely. And listen, I was also having some fun with this. If you asked 100 people who are Cardinals fans, or any fans really, like, okay, who's got a better starting pitching ERA? Would it be the team with Palante, Libitor, McGreevy, Leahy, and Hunter Dobbins? Who am I missing? Did I leave one of our guys out?
McGreevy, Palante, Dobbins, Leahy, Liberator.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Who's got the better starting pitching ERA? That team or the team that has a rotation of Christopher Sanchez, Zach Wheeler, Jesus Luzardo, Aaron Nola, and a top pitching prospect, Andrew Painter? Which team's got the best starting pitching ERA?
It should be not the Cardinals.
99 of 100 would say Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
The answer is the Cardinals have a better starting pitching ERA right now than the Philadelphia Phillies. The Cardinals have a better starting pitching ERA than a team that up until the deadline had a rotation that included Kevin Gausman, Dylan Cease, Trey Savage, Max Scherzer, Shane Bieber. They have a better starting pitching ERA than the team that has in its rotation Mackenzie Gore, Nathan Eovaldi, Jacob deGrom, and two young, highly regarded prospects, Kumar Rocker and Jack Leader. Cardinals have a better starting pitching ERA than a team that has in its rotation Paul Skeens, Jared Jones, Bubba Chandler, Braxton Ashcraft, and Mitch Keller. The Cardinals have a better starting pitcher ERA than a team that has in its rotation Hunter Green, Andrew Abbott, Chase Burns, Nick Lodolo, Brady Singer, and Rhett Lauder. I could go on and on and on. Yeah. I mean, it is remarkable what they have been able to do with the talent they have to mold this rotation. They're outperforming all these rotations that have these big name pitchers.
It's remarkable. It's a lot of credit is deserved. And the other thing, Bernie, and this has been a narrative all year long, but I get lulled into it anytime we think, okay, this is it. This is the moment where it starts to fall off. This is the moment where they sell at the deadline and they're in the middle of a road trip through Toronto and New York, which is tough. What they answer the bell. You had a really tough loss in that first game against the Phillies. What do? They answer with wins against two of the better pitchers in the National League. Their ability to bounce back from adversity, I don't know if I've seen it before from a baseball team.
It's really something, I wanted to double check this. Okay. And this happened since the trade deadline. Okay. Where there may have been that may have been, they trade Newt Barr, very popular player. They trade Dustin May, very important and popular player. Romero is inactive, but still they love him. And now when he returns, he won't be pitching for them. That could have been something that deflated the team, right? I don't know that I would have blamed them, right? Well, since that happened, for the first time all season, the Cardinals have won 3 consecutive series. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. The Cardinals, before the trade deadline, Matt, they had 6 different times where they could have won a 3rd consecutive series. And all 6 times they lost that series that would have given them 3 in a row.
Yeah.
0-6 when they had a chance to win 3 in a row. The first time that they win 3 in a row is after a lot of people out there were saying, well, I know they got to do this, but it's going to just break this team's heart. I mean, it's just not, it's just going to just tear their heart out to trade these guys away. Well, I don't think that happened.
It didn't. And the vibes are, I'm in that clubhouse every day when the team's at home. Vibes are good. I can tell you, vibes are really good. And it's a confident group that feels good about where they're going. And I think, Bernie, I got to get you out of here. So just real quick.
All right, sure.
I think that the message that they have been given from leadership has been so clear that that's part of the reason why the morale doesn't drop. Nothing has happened to them that's unexpected.
No, they're so well prepared for every contingency, Ali Marmol keeps nothing in the dark. He talks to them candidly about everything. They're very upfront. No one has misled them. No one has lied to them. I mean, they knew of all the variables going into the trade deadline. They knew that X, Y, Z, could happen or more could happen, but they dealt with it. And they come out of the trade deadline. It's almost like it took the pressure off their back, where they could just relax because they're like, hey man, we're all Cardinals to the end of the year. Let's go. Let's win some games. Let's get this thing going again. Got a lot of admiration for the team, even though we have people talking about how they're a horrific product or whatever. Okay.
Bernie, love talking to you. But before we get you out of here, can you share a little bit about Saliga?
Saliga Heating and Cooling, Daikin Comfort Dealer. It's a family of Saligas, 4 generations of them. Dan Saliga, the latest, owner, operator, taking care of St. Louisans for 100 years. I love it. 1927. That's when you ever heard the 1927 Yankees? Yeah, that's how long Saliga Heating and Cooling's been around. And they're still going strong. They're better than ever. And we know all about it because the Miklas family with Saliga Heating and Cooling would go back a long way. We're moving in on 20 years, the best of my recollection. And listen, I can vouch for their trustworthiness, their promptness. They're reliable. They say they're going to be at your home a certain time. They're there. When they come in, there's no fast talk. There's no hustle. There's no hurrying. There's no rushing. They're not trying to talk you into something you don't need. They're the exact opposite. They're very cautious. They explain every option. They go into details. They answer all of your questions. They want to make you feel comfortable about whatever your choice is. They're not going to take advantage of you at a time where maybe something's broken and you're very nervous and you don't have air conditioning, you don't have heat, whatever the season may be. And, you're vulnerable. And that's where somebody unscrupulous could take advantage of you. Never with Saliga Heating and Cooling. It's the exact opposite. That's been our experience. So if you want to find out about all they do, this great family business with a great tradition of taking care of St. Louis families, you get the phone number and all their services, including the maintenance program called the Priority Club. Just go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you very much.
The Cardinals conversation doesn't end when the game does. Watch the Gas House Game, Redbird Rush Hour, Sports Open Line, and sports on a Sunday morning whenever and wherever you want. Plus, exclusive conversations with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol, president of baseball operations Chaim Bloom, players, broadcasters, and baseball insiders. Subscribe today to the KMOX Sports YouTube channel because Cardinals fans deserve a front row seat.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb.
Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Hey, it's Brew. Between my radio show, filming content, editing videos, and trying to stay connected with family, reliable Wi-Fi isn't really optional anymore. I just need it to work. That's why I like that with Xfinity, you get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years, guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, Xfinity makes getting connected simple with same-day Wi-Fi so you can get online in minutes. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Don's Garage Doors has been serving families since 1998, and now we're bringing that same great experience to the Lou. We take pride in having a neighbor-first approach to doing business with local technicians who are your neighbors. Don's Garage Doors is new to the area, but we're not new to working extra hard to earn customer trust, one garage door at a time. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Doors.
Don's Garage Doors, Don's Garage Doors. When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Tired of your phone bill constantly going up? Stop the madness with Boost Mobile. Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month. No contracts, no catches. And that $25 price is locked in forever. Switch to Boost Mobile today.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line, presented in part by St. Luke's Hospital, St. Louis's #1 heart hospital, on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Just a few minutes left here in hour number 1 of the program. Hour number 2, it is largely going to be a conversation I had earlier today. Got the chance to sit down and talk with Anouk Kurtarante. He is the president of business operations for the Cardinals. Kind of a state of the Cardinals from a business side of things conversation. That's going to be coming up here in the 7 o'clock hour. And certainly hope that you'll stick around for that. Just to get an idea of what's going on and what they're focusing on. And it was a good jumping off point, again, was the decision to make the navy blue caps the primary road cap with the road grays. He told us, and he'll say this in the interview, but I'll let you know, because we can't get 80% of anybody agreeing on anything. Of the people who turned in the survey, about 80% said they wanted the navy blue caps. I was surprised by that number. I like the navy blue caps. I'm not passionate about it by any stretch of the mind. It's not something I care about that much, but a large portion of the Cardinal fan base, and very, very, very obviously a portion of the fan base that was wanting it to get done, they got the message that they needed to get in on that survey. So that's going to be coming up. Matt, are we done in 10 seconds or are we done in a minute 10? You told me. Okay, we got a minute 10 left. Sometimes my memory isn't good. We have to hit our top of the hour news. Matthew Rocchio does his job. He tells me what time we need to be out. Do I write it down? No. I say to myself, Matt, not Matthew Rocchio, Matt. You can remember it. You know what time it's going to be. And then I'm looking at the clock and I'm going, wait a minute. Is it now or is it a minute from now? Because I can't remember. I've had a long day. Okay. So there you go. And that's live radio at its best for sure. But yeah, navy blue caps. That's where it is going to be here moving forward for the Cardinals on the road. So a solid percentage of the fan base very happy with that decision. Jeremy sends in a message on the stream, says it just matches the road uniforms. I'm not disagreeing, just not something I'm passionate about, but I understand the passion behind it. Again, 80% of the fans who submitted that survey said they want navy blue road caps. Well, there you go. You get it. It is now time for me to go ahead and take that break. We'll talk to you after the 7 o'clock news here on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Dollar General.
General Motors is getting ready to eject Google's Gemini AI assistant from its vehicles in favor of a homegrown AI system. GM says that its GM AI assistant will function better than Gemini AI in its vehicles, combining conversational AI with GM vehicle data and OnStar intelligence. GM says that its AI assistant will better understand the vehicle and make everyday ownership easier. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Things in Washington, D.C. may seem unsettled at times by their lack of progress. But one department in the U.S. government is progressing. That is the IRS. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS is in full function to collect on unpaid taxes. If you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and get it resolved. Don't think the government is too busy to focus on my issues. Too many of my clients thought the same. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Lance Story Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Or call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceStoryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
You've pictured it, the garage door that finally makes your home look the way you want it to. And now get $500 back on a qualifying garage door with the Overhead Door Home Refresh Rebate. Qualifying purchase must be made by September 13th. Let Overhead Door Company of St. Louis upgrade your curb appeal and get you up to $500 back. Schedule a free estimate at overheaddoorstlouis.com. Select models. Rebate paid as a Visa prepaid gift card. Restrictions apply. See website for full terms. Soldiers Memorial Military Museum looks at American military history through the lens of St. Louis. From the Revolutionary War to the present day, the galleries showcase stories of local service members and delve into the city's wartime history. Outside, the Court of Honors includes monuments to those who lost their lives in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Admission is free. Find information about special exhibits at mohistory.org/memorial. That's mohistory.org/memorial.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Hi, I'm Mark Cantor. The people around here are hardworking people, just like you. And when someone in your family gets hurt in a car wreck, everything can change very fast. That's why having a local lawyer matters. At Cantor Injury Law, we know these towns, these roads, and the people who drive them every day. When you call us, you're calling a local team with boots on the ground, ready to fight for you. You can count on Cantor.
CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
Underway in Meta's federal trial over claims that its platforms have tracked children and harmed their mental health. Believe it or not, it's back to school time, and getting kids ready includes more than just buying books and backpacks.
Mental health specialists say it's important for parents to read their kids' emotions, but not necessarily to give in to them.
It's so tempting as a parent to say, oh, okay, we'll take a mental health day today and be able to go tomorrow.
Pediatrician Dr. Molly O'Shea says that seems like a reasonable way to deal with a return to school.
When actually that reinforces the anxiety and makes it even harder to go the next day.
Crucial to a successful start to the academic year, cycling your kids' bedtime back from a summer break schedule to the earlier wake-up time. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
A new study shows a protective vest that was tested on a dummy during NASA's first Artemis mission in 2022 could drastically cut the radiation exposure of lunar astronauts during severe solar storms. Dave Packer, ABC News.
At 7:02, we have clouds and 84 degrees downtown of the Arch. I'm Maria Kina, and for Michael Calhoun, our top story, over 14,000 Ameren, Missouri customers are without power. The neighborhoods generally around Tower Grove South, Carondelet Park, Boulevard Heights, in the north, Breckenridge Hills, and an area east around Maryland Heights, a little bit east of Maryland Heights, St. Charles County, St. Peters, Wentzville, Warrenton. To the south, the numbers are more significant around Cedar Hill as well as Ditmer and Grubbville. In Illinois, the number is below 1,000, and right now people in the dark there, Granite City, Shiloh, and O'Fallon. That's due to those storms that came rolling through earlier. It looks like all storm warnings have now expired, but we still do have a chance for some storms moving in this evening. After going missing during the early Wednesday morning hours in South St. Louis, a 2-year-old has been found and is safe.
Janila Hewley was reported missing by her mother when she woke up to find her gone from her bed and their front door left open. St. Louis City Police spokesman Mitch McCoy says police used all resources available to search for Hewley and a homeless woman only identified as Ashley, who witnesses say was spotted with the child during the overnight hours. According to McCoy, a neighbor spotted Ashley with the child during their search and flagged down a nearby FBI agent. McCoy wouldn't rule out charges, but shared what information he had about why the woman was with the child and did not notify the parents or law enforcement.
The information is still very early, and I don't want to speculate as to why that woman had the child. But what I do know is that apparently the woman just woke up and then started realizing that there was a lot of commotion going on.
McCoy wouldn't rule out charges for the parents either, who told law enforcement Hewley has escaped out the front door before. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A legal battle between the city of Alton and its own mayor is on hold after a last-minute shakeup in court. The Riverbender reports a hearing scheduled for today in the lawsuit filed by Mayor David Goins against the city was postponed indefinitely after an attorney for the city requested a new judge. This dispute centers on a city council ordinance that was passed while the mayor was absent, and that wiped out his department's appointments. A judge previously issued a temporary restraining order blocking the council from enforcing the rule while the case plays out. PETA is suing Petland in Lake St. Louis for selling a puppy with a painful, debilitating brain defect. The lawsuit claims the store violated Missouri consumer laws by advertising, quote, healthy puppies while hiding severe genetic risk common in purebred dogs like Cavalier King Charles Spaniels. The owner says she spent thousands on vet bills after her puppy developed a deformed skull and a severe parasitic infection, forcing her to surrender the dog when she could no longer afford for his care. The all clear sounded in parts of the Metro East after a large chemical fire prompted crews in the early morning hours today to caution public to shelter in place in their homes. St. Clair County Emergency Management Director Herb Simmons says they had to be strategic, though, because the chemical is an acid that's used to make chlorine tablets and is reactive to water.
They went back to the plan of getting it spread out pretty well, decreasing the size of the pile, and then just putting up with the popcorn sound while the water, and then flushing it out. And then we've got the sand that was brought in is building a dike.
The shelter-in-place order was rescinded, but East St. Louis schools were closed all day. Employees at Granite City's Gateway Regional Medical Center did not receive paychecks last week because the hospital's owner didn't pay the company that's in charge of making payroll. Hospital leadership told workers it was a temporary cash flow, and that the issue is going to be resolved with the new billing management company. That's according to the Business Journal. The 122-year-old hospital's future has been a question mark for a while now. After years of not paying property taxes, the main facility was sold in a tax sale now owned by American Healthcare Systems. CEO Michael Sarian says he kicked in $1 million of his own money to cover the payroll, but he's also being sued by numerous business partners and who accuse him of company taking money from the company for his personal use. And from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, Dave Murray has our forecast.
Summertime is alive and well this evening and overnight, and it's alive and well right through the weekend. Partly cloudy skies. There will be a few spot thunderstorms around. The focus is mainly St. Louis north. There's a little fading line of action. It's kind of falling apart. 79 for the low, evening temperatures in the 90s. Thursday, do it again. Partly sunny, hot and humid, some spot thunderstorms. 97 for the high on Thursday. 103 the record from 1936. Thursday night, partly cloudy, spot storms 77. Friday, partly sunny, hot and humid. 99, 100 degrees for the high on Friday. Over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, sunny, hot and humid. The high each day upper 90s to near 100 degrees. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Fortunately, we've had this cloud cover today, which has brought the temps down a little bit, and the extreme heat warning continues, though, right on through Saturday night at 9 o'clock. They extended it today. Right now, it's 80 degrees in St. Peter's, 84 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arts, it's 84 degrees. I'm Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line, presented in part by St. Luke's Hospital, St. Louis's #1 heart hospital on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
All right, back at it as we get into hour number 2 of the program. My name's Matt Pauley, taking you till 8 o'clock. This is, I was just talking about this with Matthew Rocky a few moments ago. It is very rare outside of the All-Star break to get 3 straight days with a sports open line, but that's what we've got in this situation because we're with you obviously today after a day game. Tomorrow, Cardinals is an off day, and then Friday, they're in Chicago to play the Cubs, so that is a day game as well. So day game, off day, day game means sports open line, sports open line, sports open line, and we are with you. So glad to be able to do that. It's a perfect, like Friday's a good day. Today's a good day. We get Cardinal baseball. We get sports open line. I get to get home a little bit earlier. Might actually be able to have dinner with my wife and my daughters. Like everybody's a winner here, including the Cardinals, who won today over the Philadelphia Phillies, winning, taking the series. I just in baseball, literally any given day, any team can win. I understand that. That is more true in baseball than any other sport. But for them to lose that first game of the series where you felt like, okay, hey, if the Cardinals are going to take this series, they got to win that one. Those words were coming out of my mouth. I'll raise my hand on that one. The words were coming out of my mouth. Hey, if the Cardinals are going to take the series, you almost have to win. And you could tell. Like there's maybe because I'm listening to the post-game media stuff after every single day and I'm really locked in. And I try to, one of the things I do, and I'm not saying other people don't do this, but this is just something I do. I really try to listen to what's not said because a lot of times what's not said overtly is what's really being said. like reading between the lines on things. And sometimes I get it wrong. Sometimes I misinterpret it. Sometimes I think something is something and it's actually nothing. I'm not trying to run away from that. I'm not 100% on that, but I do really try to listen to some of the things that may have a second meaning or the way certain questions are answered. Sometimes something will be omitted and, okay, why wasn't that part of the question addressed? And I try to go with that. So I spend a lot of time listening very intently to what is said after games, especially from Ollie Marmol. So I know when losses hit them a little bit harder than others. In baseball, you lose a lot of games. You're going to lose at least 60 games every year. And not wanting to punch a hole through a wall after every single loss is just part of keeping your mental perspective in a spot that you can live with. Like, you can't just live and die with every win and loss. But there are some losses that hit a little bit harder. And that loss on Monday, I'm telling you, that one hit a little bit harder. You could hear the things that were said. That was a game that the Cardinals really felt like they should have won. They needed to win. They thought they were going to win, whatever it might be. And part of that is probably connected to the way that game played out and where there were clear opportunities to score some more runs that they didn't. And probably part of it was also what that loss represented for the rest of the series, where you walk out of the ballpark on Monday night and you say to yourself, man, I hope the Cardinals don't get swept. I hope they find a way to win one of these next two games against Sanchez and Wheeler. And what do? They win both of them. So it's an impressive part of what this team has done. And by winning these two games, that kind of neutralizes out the fact that you lost the first, even the Rockies series. You lost that second game of the series. That was a game that they felt like they should have won. I would argue that the post-game media was not quite as doom and gloom on that one as it was on the Monday Phillies series. But you didn't feel great about that Game 2 loss against the Rockies. You just didn't. And then what do? They go win the final game of that series. They find a way to win. They were in a spot where nothing was guaranteed, but they were able to get some late runs, and they won that Sunday game against the Rockies, and they take 2 out of 3. I don't care who you're playing. There is not a team in Major League Baseball that I am ever going to say you have to sweep this series. Now, that's not to say that if there's 3 games left in the year and you're 3 games back, then yes, from a mathematical standpoint, you have to sweep the series. But outside of a like just a overt mathematical equation, I don't care who the team is. I don't care how bad the team is. I'm never going to say a team has to sweep a series. It's those guys are getting paid too. Bad baseball teams win games. So I don't mind winning 2 out of 3 against the Rockies. That's fine. But you had to win that. If you want to continue to stick around in this thing, you had to win that. By the way, there's a little bit when we opened up the show today, the Cardinals were 3 games back of the wild card. Well, now I can tell you the Cardinals are 2.5 games back of the final wild card spot. But it's not all good news. The Padres did come back. This is one of these situations where I'm stuck wanting the Brewers to win, which is not, it doesn't feel good. But the Brewers and the Padres, the Cardinals aren't chasing the Brewers for the division. The Cardinals are not going to win the division this year. So if the Brewers can help out the Cardinals a little bit by beating some of the teams that are in front of them in the wild card standings, you take it. Well, the Brewers had the lead today against the Padres, could not hold on. Padres came back. They won 4-3 in 11 innings. So here's where things sit right now. And there is still one more game going on that could impact things because the Marlins are playing the Pirates right now. Last I saw, the Marlins were up in that game. Let's see. Marlins right now are up 6-2 over the Pirates. Pirates are just falling apart. Pirates are just falling apart completely right now. They are terrible. And everybody was so excited about who the Pirates were going to be this year. And turns out, you know who they are? They're the Pirates. They're just the Pirates. They're who they always have been, seemingly always will be. Yeah, they've got really good pitching. Their roster isn't bad, but still the Pirates. Anyways, what I was saying, Cardinals are now 2.5 games back of the final wildcard spot with some of the other things that have happened. The Padres are in the second wildcard spot alone. Diamondbacks and Phillies are tied for the final wildcard spot at 64 and 58. Marlins are 2 back, so they'll either be 1.5 or 2.5, and the Cardinals are 2.5 back right now. Anouk Karun-Durante is going to join us coming up in our next segment, a conversation that I recorded with him earlier in the day. But I do want to tell you right now about my friends at i3 Broadband. They are the internet service provider in the Pauley household. And if they're available in your neighborhood, they should be your internet service provider as well. Because I always say, look, this is the easiest thing in the world for me to talk about. There's really only 3 things you care about when it comes to your home internet. Is it fast? i3 Internet's fast. 1 gig, 2 gig, 8 gigs. They mirror upload and download speed, fiber straight into your house. Yeah, it's fast. Is it well priced? Absolutely. I'm never uncomfortable with how much I pay. I get the 2 gig package. That's the package that I've got. I don't need 8 gigs of internet. 2 gigs, more than fine. You might be somebody where 1 gig is more than fine. And then the reliability is great as well. i3broadband.com/radio, i3broadband.com/radio. Check it out for yourself. See if they're available in your neighborhood. Make the switch to the best internet in the world as far as I'm concerned. i3broadband, i3broadband.com/radio.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Giddy up! It's the Cardinal Cowboy. Don't let garage door problems bench your summer plans. From repairs, tune-ups, and replacements, Renner Garage Door hits a grand slam every time. Score a free repair or replacement quote today. Plus, $100 off a new garage door. Featuring trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster. Renner delivers the quality, reliability, and performance your home can count on. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back.
RENNER. Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are talking to Dr. Premal Thacker.
How to cope with such a diagnosis that can be very supportive for you through your journey of cancer. And additionally, we have social workers as well. So we're very fortunate at Siteman Cancer Center to have such a in-depth team to take care of you as you embark on this, hard time in your life.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
I do this about once a year, and I really enjoy when I get the chance to talk with Anouk Karunaratne. He is the president of business operations for the St. Louis Cardinals. We like doing kind of a wide-ranging look at the Cardinals organization, so he joins us right now. Anouk, thanks for taking some time with us today. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start with the most recent news, and then we'll kind of go back. And I know you had a scrum with the media yesterday, but just very quickly over the last few weeks, you guys sent out a survey to Cardinals fans about uniforms, and very shortly after you announced that the primary road cap is going to go back to the navy blue cap. And I know it seems like most response to this has been pretty positive.
Yeah, look, you can never please everyone. With really any decision, but on this one, we saw a pretty strong preference for the Navy cap. I think it was about 80% of the respondents preferred the Navy cap for our road gray uniform, and so we felt like it was a no-brainer in that sense.
Did that surprise you at all that the number was that big?
Normally, you don't see things that are that polarized to that degree. I expected it might be 60-40. Or even closer than that, in which case that would make it a harder decision. But no, yeah, it was interesting to see how strongly fans felt about this one.
It's interesting because Cardinals fans feel strongly about There's people out there that say, "What's this City Connect thing? Why is there a victory blue? Why is there it should just be the two jerseys and nothing else?" And then there's other people who love the different assortments and things. And I would think that the strong feelings about jerseys probably and uniform choices, it's probably stronger for Cardinals fans than most of the other fan bases around baseball.
I would agree, if not the strongest. And I think that goes back to, 140 plus years of baseball, most of which have been as the Cardinals, and for most of that time with a pretty consistent uniform. That's, rare in the game. I don't think there's many franchises that could say their uniform hasn't materially changed over the course of 100 plus years. And on top of that, we have a pretty good one, which is probably why we didn't change it for that long. So I think that certainly makes it unique, both the history, the tradition, and the fact that they're still in 2026, I think the best uniform in the game.
Can I give you my uniform hot take?
Do it.
Okay. And it's not allowed by Major League Baseball rules, so it doesn't even matter because MLB a few years ago restricted to the 5 total jerseys.
Yeah.
I wish that there would be some sort of waiver for spring training where they could go back to the red BP tops in spring training games, because I love the idea of a guy walking into the Major League clubhouse on opening day for the first time ever, putting on the white Cardinal uniform. So it bums me out that Major League Baseball doesn't have some sort of waiver for spring training where they could go with the red tops.
Yeah. I know we used to do that, right? Mm-hmm. And, maybe that's something we can get back to initially. I think the thinking was when we were launching the red City Connect that should be the first time we wear it, is when we wear those on field. So, those are things we'll consider as we kind of move forward with uniform decisions.
There you go. I have an audience, so I got to get my hot take out there. What has this year been like? Because it feels like under your leadership, a lot of the things that you've tried to put in place, whether it is the Kids Sunday, the stuff that goes on Friday nights, 2 years now of doing post-game concerts, it just feels like the system that you wanted to put in place is kind of rolling along right now. Would you agree with that? And how do you feel like your vision is playing out right now?
Yeah. I think I talked about this a little bit when we did the introductory press conference where, I said, look, our job is to get back to the standard that everyone agrees on is the standard of Cardinal baseball we aspire to. and we have work to do in getting there. I've been really happy with where we are at this point, along the journey in terms of progress that's been made. And at the center of that, we need to listen to our fans. We need to put our fans at the center of the decisions that we're making. That's very much kind of the slogan we've been using internally as we ask questions about what we should do differently, what we should keep the same. And I think that where we are now is a good spot. We have a lot of internal alignment. We've gotten teams really thinking about where we can start to do things differently, what really are our strengths, the things we should keep consistent, what should we change, some of the things we're experimenting with. But we're, I wouldn't say we're firing all cylinders, though. I would contrast this by saying we've made really good progress and we have momentum. I still think we have a lot of work to do. And in some ways that work will not end because what fans want to see changes year to year. And so, I'm optimistic that we have the right internal momentum to keep building on the things that we've started.
One of the challenges, I think, and maybe you won't view it as a challenge, winning and losing means so much more seemingly in St. Louis than other markets. I was in Colorado for a while. It doesn't matter if the Rockies win or lose. They do a lot of losing. They don't sell out, but they fill that ballpark up. You were in Toronto for a while, and I know they're just coming off a World Series here, but they're not playing well this year, and they had 40,000 plus when the Cardinals were there recently. You never want to get to a point where winning isn't the most important thing for the organization, and it's not that you're trying to draw people to a losing product, but it's also making sure that the atmosphere, the product of Cardinals baseball stands as a really good thing, win or loss. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think there's two parts to it, right? Like in the end, we're a baseball team and we want to win. And I think, that's our number one priority on both the business and the baseball sides. And I think if you were to do a poll of the fans, they would agree. That's what we should be focused on. How we can affect that goal as a business organization is by trying to ensure that our fans feel a connection to the players, to the team, that they feel like an experience coming to the ballpark is worth their time and money, and that the organization cares and is focused on the right things. And so, not all of those things are tied to like, hey, just try to win or only relevant when we win. Particularly around the experience, I think most people would agree when you come to a game, you might be more likely to come when the team is winning, but you're coming to spend time with your family, to experience aspects of the game or of attending a game that don't have to do only with the play that's happening on the field. And those are the parts that the business organization can control. And we can control those things whether the team is playing well or whether they're not. And so our job is to make sure we're firing on all cylinders and serving our fans in the best way we can, regardless of what's happening. And the demand is going to ebb and flow. I mean, I think that's true in every market. I think what's exceptional about this market is the fact that for 30 plus years, we had as many fans come through the turnstiles as they did. And, it's not surprising that when we're in a period of relatively lower performance than that historical average, that fewer people would come. But we don't view it as, just a zero-sum game. Like we need to focus on controlling the things we want. And the feedback we've gotten from fans validates that. I think people like the things that we're doing. Maybe not all of them, but many of them, and we're going to keep learning and improving those things.
With my job, I don't get to do the fan thing that often, but this past Sunday, it was Build-A-Bear Day, and I brought my daughters and my wife to the game and experienced as a fan, and it's just a good reminder for me how great this product is. Coming to a Cardinals, for a portion of the fan base, I feel like that's been lost in kind of the muck of the last few years, that coming out to a Cardinals game is a great experience, especially whether you have a family, whether you're a 20-something that wants to go get a $5 beer out in right field. I mean, there's so many things that make this experience a really fun evening or fun day for anybody.
Yeah, and that's ultimately, we want to make sure that as many people as possible leave the ballpark feeling like they got their money's worth for the experience they came for, knowing that even if we were the best team in the league right now, we'd be winning maybe 55% of our games instead of 45% if we were, a bad team, quote unquote. And I think that just goes back to like any game that you come to, any one specific game, there's no certainty on whether you're going to see a win or a loss, whether the team you're coming to see is good or bad. But what we can do is try to make sure that when you bring your kids or when you come with your friends, that all of the elements of the experience you have here that we can control contribute to you feeling like you got what you paid for, or that what we delivered exceeded that.
When the reorganization happened with Bill DeWitt III becoming CEO, you're president of business operations, Chaim Bloom is president of baseball operations. How much does your orbit and Chaim's orbit intersect? What does that look like in terms of business operations and baseball operations finding ways to work together?
Yeah, so Chaim and I have been having some good discussions about how we want to continue to evolve that, but there's a planning element to it. So as we're thinking about budgeting and planning for the coming season, how much revenue we think we can generate flows into where we put dollars into resources or payroll or other things like that. So that's one natural point of intersection, is just planning. And Chaim, Bill, and I will have those discussions on a periodic basis. And as we go into planning for next year, same thing. We obviously intersect on the fact that in the end, this is one organization. We want our employees to feel like they work for the Cardinals, regardless of whether you work in business or baseball ops. So from a HR standpoint, from a people and culture standpoint, we're trying to make sure that there are synergies and consistency where there needs to be, while recognizing the fact that, in the end, those are two distinct groups of employees and organizations with different goals, at the individual level, even though in the end we're trying to affect the same thing. From a communications standpoint, communicating to our fan base, there's overlap. We're both communicating messages, albeit about different things. But there's questions Chaim will get asked about business and vice versa. From a facility standpoint, our stadium operations staff does an incredible job. They work for many masters. We want to make sure that the building is in opening day condition for our fans, that our offices are, going to put our staff in a position to be as productive and have a great work environment as possible. And the same thing for our players, from the clubhouse to the field. And so there's overlap from a facility standpoint. And I'm trying to think if I've left anything off, but there are several kind of points of intersection where we do need to stay coordinated, and we do try to do that.
We are talking with Anuk Karudaratne, the president of business operations for the St. Louis Cardinals. We've got a whole lot more to get to with him, so we'll take a break, and we've got more coming up in just a moment. This is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
It's not really a sports show. It's just a show.
So I don't really have a sports show, but I love the Cardinals. I am born and bred St. Louis, went to my first game like so many of you, 4 years old. Couldn't believe how green it was, standing there next to the players with my dad, and now I go with my kids. You get it. So when you listen to the DGS, it's going to be a slice of life happy hour, but we're always going to talk Cardinals.
The Dave Glover Show at 1. Then stick around for Cardinals baseball.
Right now, inflation is squeezing your budget. Global events are shaking markets overnight, and if you're close to retirement, you don't get unlimited do-overs. That's why Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group are hosting Retirement Simplified. Find out if your retirement strategy can survive today's economy. Rising costs, market volatility, political uncertainty, and the questions most people avoid. Could you outlive your money? When should you file for Social Security? Is your 401k carrying too much risk? These aren't hypothetical concerns. They're happening right now. Retirement Simplified, August 27th and September 1st. It is complimentary and you must qualify to attend. Call now 636-230-8824 or visit yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. All Financial Group is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Save big on your landscaping project at Menards. Whether you're looking for edgers, pavers, or wall blocks, Menards has the largest in-stock selection of concrete landscape block ready to take home today. Build a beautiful border for your landscape with our interlock edgers on sale now through August 16th. Save big on landscape block at Menards. Also, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
When legacy automation starts impacting visibility and downtime, it may be time to consider modernization. Graybar's automation specialists work alongside your team to help you identify risks and map out realistic upgrade paths without unnecessary disruptions. Get started with a free health check of your operations and see what's possible. Yep, Graybar does that.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath. It's all about time.
Save time and money.
Do it now, don't wait till later. Call the top-notch renovator. It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
Hey, this is Kevin Wheeler, and I want to tell you about Burn Balance Complex, which you can pick up at Supplement Superstores, and you can find a location at supplementsuperstores.com. Look, Burn Balance Complex is different, okay? It's a game changer. It is a complete, all-natural metabolism system. It's not just a fat burner. If you're someone that doesn't want to get a prescription, if you don't want to go get injections, Burn Balance Complex can get your metabolism rocking the way that it's supposed to, and you notice it really early on because you start to notice clothes are fitting a little differently. You're seeing results, which then kind of gives you motivation to keep on going, right? Well, on top of the metabolism boost, you're also going to notice reduced stress with lower cortisol levels, appetite and craving control, which is absolutely critical to staying on a plan, plus all-day focused energy, no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. And look, it's not magic. You got to do the work, but Burn Balance Complex has made that work so much easier for me. It'll do the same for you. So get out to Supplement Superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll knock 30% off right then and there, and you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
For over 25 years, Styles Clothing Company has been serving the St. Louis community, and we're just getting started. Custom screen printing, embroidery, and promotional items for sports team uniforms, schools, companies, family reunions, and events. Quality products and service guaranteed. We want to thank all of our customers. Call now and mention you heard this commercial on this station for 15% off all month long this August. Styles Clothing Company. Call 314-831-6559. That's 314-831-6559 or visit stylesclothing.com.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line, presented in part by St. Luke's Hospital, St. Louis's #1 heart hospital on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We're back. It's a Gray Bar Sports Open Line here on KMOX. No Cardinals baseball tonight. In fact, it's going to be a little while till you get Cardinals baseball again. They'll take the off day tomorrow, and then they're back at it coming up on Friday afternoon when they open up a weekend series in Chicago against the Cubs. We're going to continue on with our conversation with Cardinals President of Business Operations, Anouk Karunaratne. He is somebody who oversees really everything non-baseball-wise, and we talked a little bit in the first part of our interview about where the baseball and the business operations actually coexist a bit together. One thing that is very much from the business side and very important to the Cardinals is the TV situation. I commented to him that I kind of chuckled when you think about where things were at going into opening day. So many people were so worried about having access to the TV broadcast, what it was going to look like, and very quickly everything did get put together. So I asked him his thoughts on where they're at right now, considering where they were in this first year of the Cardinals overseeing their TV operation through the facilities of Major League Baseball and MLB Network.
Yeah, I mean, out of what we thought was a pretty bad situation, for multiple reasons. On December 15th of last year, we found out what we thought was an agreement with Main Street Sports to continue our relationship on FanDuel Sports Network. We'd already done that deal. That falls through on December 15th. And then we realize if this really falls through, we're going to have to do this ourselves. So that's December 15th. The holidays are coming up, and the first spring training games start in February.
Yeah.
So we had a pretty short lead time to figure out how do we distribute the games, figure out the broadcast talent, start selling ads. There's a lot of moving pieces. I have to give credit to our team. Tony Simakaitis has done an incredible job on the production side. Our corporate partnership team with Joe Pfeiffer and Kyle Dingus and several others have done a great job just jumping in to help us stabilize and figure this out. And I think the positives, beyond just getting to the point of survival, like, can we get spring training games on the air? Can we get the opening day game up without issues? Figure out the channels. Like, those are the things we were worried about in the first 2 months, to a place now where in many ways we think the broadcast quality is better. I know that's going to be a subjective opinion in the end, but we've received positive feedback on some of the new talent that's been added, and whether that's Danny Wexelman or some of the new things we're trying in the broadcast, hearing from players and staff, to things we're doing in the pregame. That piece has gone really well. And from a reach and distribution standpoint, which is really important to us, we want to get the game in front of as many people as we can. Like, it doesn't make sense for our business, and it doesn't make sense for our fans to have people not be able to watch the games. So we continued our partnership with KMOV to do the over-the-air games, 10 Fridays, I think, this year, which has gone really well and built on what we did last year. The streaming platform, which we switched to the MLB streaming platform this year, has gotten a lot of positive reviews. Our viewership has gone up on just number of people that have signed up for streaming by more than 20%. And our ratings on TV compared to last year are up more than 20%.
Wow.
So,
and last year was a good year.
And last year was a better year than the year before.
Yeah.
So, a lot of positives. We want to keep building on it. We do feel like since I got here 2.5 years ago, I feel like we're in a more stable place today than we were at any point in time since I got here. So we feel pretty good about that.
This would be another example, though, of business and baseball operations coming together, because if Oliver Marmol isn't willing to do an in-game interview, that's not happening. If players aren't willing to do it, that's not happening. So there has to be some buy-in from literally inside that clubhouse for the TV broadcast to get all the access that it's gotten.
That's a great point, and probably one I left out. And we've spent a lot of time, and Ollie's been, one of the biggest supporters of this. But coming into this year, we emphasized just the importance of getting our fans to know our players better, and our ability to tell the story of what this team is in a way that we hadn't really done in the past. And what that required was buy-in from Ollie, the coaching staff, our players, Heim, to think differently about what access we provide for not just broadcast, radio and TV, which I think that's improved, but also for social media and for Cardinals Insider and all of the other content that we do. And we've been able to do some really cool behind-the-scenes type content this year that I think our fans have appreciated and has helped them get to know, like, this young team a lot better.
When everything was kind of up in the air with TV, a lot of times the gambling thing was brought in. That the team has an official gambling partner in Bet365, and Major League Baseball has many entanglements. That's probably the wrong word, but relationships would be the better word with gambling companies. Has that played out kind of the way you expected it to be? Has there been any landmines in that? Has the relationship with the gambling world been good for baseball?
Well, I think, our relationship with Bet365 is a sponsorship, arrangement, the same as it is with any of our other large sponsors like Anheuser-Busch or Ford or Community America or, any of our larger sponsors. It's fundamentally a marketing and brand sponsorship. And, in terms of feedback we've gotten, there's been almost none that we've received about any issues or anything like that. We obviously adhere to MLB's guidelines and regulations for sports betting, which are pretty stringent in terms of, how many ads you can show that are sports betting related, or where you can show those ads. We want to be really clear about trying to ensure that there's no association that implies that the competitive integrity of the game is in any way compromised. And in addition to that, we want to be really thoughtful about ensuring that, when we're promoting that service, that we're also talking about responsible gaming, doing it responsibly rather than irresponsibly. So I feel like we've been able to live within those guidelines pretty well, and it's been helpful for us. But we haven't received any, feedback that suggests that there have been issues, and obviously we'll keep an eye out for that.
I think the organization deserves a ton of credit on the tarps off thing, because it's cool. But when it first started happening organically, you had the situation with Ali buying tickets. Then you guys clear out an entire area. You had to move some season ticket holders out of that area. And as that was happening, for people who aren't aware, there were other teams that were not handling it quite as well and did not weren't ready for it. And I got to think there's been conversations with people calling the Cardinals from other teams saying, how do you do this? What's the right way? Is it a point of pride, not just that tarps off originated here in terms of baseball, but also the way the organization was able to react to it very quickly and it never became anything negative?
Yeah, I think it certainly is a point of pride in the sense of I think our team reacted really well and collaboratively to come up with a solution that was fan friendly, which was, again, that's our guiding principle was, as we talked through that decision, and whether it was tarps off or blue hats or really any other decision, one of the lenses we're looking at it through is, let's put the fan at the center of the decision and, not ask ourselves, what excuse does Department A have or Department B have that might take us away from what the right answer is for what we should do for our fans. So I'm proud that that's another good example of that mindset in action, which is really how we approached the tarps off movement was, hey, it's really cool. If someone had come up with an idea to get 1,000 young fans into the building and expressing energy and enthusiasm, like if you had come up with a theme ticket idea for that in the off season, we would have said, that's great. Like, go do that idea. So we needed to kind of be facilitators in that movement rather than try to take it over and control it. And that's kind of how we approached addressing that. And I think that if I was a fan, I would want the Cardinals to be an organization that was responsive rather than, not responsive to what just seemingly makes sense. So that's kind of how we've tried to act in every area. And, I think I said this, back on when we did the press conference, like our job is not to take fan support for granted. We've got to earn trust. It doesn't matter what I say on this interview or on any other interview. We're going to be judged by the actions we take. And I think that's an example, again, of hopefully people will take away what kind of organization we are and what we stand for and how, we really do want to have our fans feel like they are at the center of the decisions we're making.
You have a very serious job, but it happens in the world of baseball, which is all about fun. Are you able to step back sometimes and look at a wacky promo? Redbird just walked by that was perfect. We're recording at Busch Stadium and literally Redbird walked by as we're having this conversation. Whether it's meetings in the off season about some wacky theme night or a giveaway item or stuff that goes on, how much fun are you able to have with that type of stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I say this a lot that, we can't take ourselves too seriously. Like in the end, if we can't have fun in this job, we're doing something wrong. And I think that for us to put out a product that is fun for the fans, it's got to be something that the people internally are excited about. That doesn't mean we can let our standards slip. That doesn't mean that we can't, or we can let our standards slip. It doesn't mean that we can, put in half of the effort that's required. That doesn't change. But we can have a lot of fun along the way. And the cool thing for me about this year is, I think if you were to ask our staff, this year has been a ton of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really cool to see how fans have reacted to the things that we have done this year that are new and different. And that's, in the end, probably the most fulfilling thing about working on the business side of the game is, you have 81 times a year where you get to help create a memory for a fan or for a family. And if you do your job well, regardless of how the team plays, you've helped them create a lasting memory that is hopefully a positive one. And that's an incredibly fulfilling perk of the job that most people can't say. On a daily basis, you can see the impact on your customers of the work you do. And so I think that's something that, you need to keep in perspective when you work in this game.
Anouk Karunaratne, he is the president of business operations for the Cardinals. Always kind of a state of the organization chat that we do every year. Thank you so much for taking this time with us today.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
That is Anouk Karunaratne, and we appreciate him taking some time with us earlier today as we were able to record that interview over at Busch Stadium as the Cardinals and Phillies wrapped up their series against each other. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll come back and we will wrap up this edition of a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. More in a moment on KMOX.
Are moles tearing up your yard? Don't let these lawn invaders turn your beautiful property into a mess. Rottler Pest Solutions offers professional mole control services to protect your lawn from damage. Visit Rottler.com today to schedule your free inspection.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are talking to Dr. Premal Thacker.
So we're trying to actually educate our general surgeons if you're getting a hernia repair or a gallbladder out, and a woman is done with childbearing, even if they don't have an elevated risk for the development of ovarian cancer, to really get those fallopian tubes out. So we're on a mission to try to prevent ovarian cancer.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Heartburn. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing is worse than heartburn after a long day. When you're finally off the clock, dinner's done, feet kicked up, kids asleep, and boom, heartburn tries to steal the moment. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing works faster for heartburn relief. The effervescent tablets start neutralizing acid in seconds, so you can sit back, relax, and unwind from your day. Next time heartburn hits,
Quick, Alka-Seltzer.
use as directed.
Taking care of your health shouldn't feel complicated. That's why we created NeoVitan to make nutrition easy. Our doctor-formulated vitamins are designed for real life and delivered straight to your door with our monthly subscription. No guesswork, no running out. Just clean, high-quality supplements manufactured in the USA using the finest domestic and international ingredients. Subscribe today at neovitan.com and take one simple step toward better daily nutrition. Visit neovitan.com and start making nutrition easy today.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line, presented in part by St. Luke's Hospital, St. Louis's #1 heart hospital, on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We are back at it here on KMOX as we start to wrap up this edition of a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. My name is Matt Pauley. I hope you enjoyed the last half hour or so that we had with Cardinals President of Business Operations, Anouk Karunaratne, as he is somebody who, the business, to me, to me, the business side of things is very interesting, and I think we're at a time right now in sports where the business side very much does impact the regular fan more. We talked a lot about the TV situation. That very much impacts the fans. We're living in a world right now where when you go to a ball game, not everybody, but when you go to a ball game, a lot of people want more than just the ball game. That doesn't mean to dismiss the impact of what's going on. You want to see a baseball team out on the field winning, but there is other stuff that's going on. So I really like Anook, both from a personal standpoint and then from a respect for who he is as a professional and the way he does the job. He's a really, really impressive individual, and I am glad that he is running the business side of things for the St. Louis Cardinals. Tomorrow, Cardinals have an off day, so we'll have a normal program tomorrow. Redbird Rush Hour, it's going to be myself. I'm not sure who's going to be with me, if anybody will be with me during the 5 o'clock hour. Kevin's got the day off. And then Sports Open Line, our normal 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock tomorrow night. And then the Cardinals will be back at it on Friday afternoon to take on the Cubs. So we'll do another Redbird Rush Hour and Sports Open Line combination on Friday night as well. So 3 straight. How often does this happen in the baseball season when it's not the All-Star break? 3 straight days of having Sports Open Line. Glad to be able to have it for you, and appreciate you being tuned in tonight. But that is just about going to do it for the program this evening. We will talk to you again tomorrow. This has been a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects